In the vast, sun-scorched land of the immortal world, the scene opens in Black Sand Town's gravel desert. The golden light of sunset washes over rocky terrain as silence fills the air. A lizard crawls cautiously over the hot ground but suddenly stops. It senses something unusual, something dangerous approaching fast. The ground trembles as someone dashes across the desert, footsteps rapid and desperate. The command to run echoes, breaking the stillness of the wilderness. From behind, a pack of savage beasts emerges, desert ghost wolves with glowing red eyes and bloodthirsty expressions. One of them, clearly marked, is level 3 with 80 GP, 20 attack, and 3 defense. Its sole skill, Bite. A group races through the desert, desperate cries echoing as someone yells for help. The desert ghost wolves close in fast, their red eyes locked onto the fleeing figures. Among the group are 3 individuals, each identified as level 3. A warrior, a mage, and a cleric. One of them calls out to the leader, asking what to do next. Without hesitation, the leader points toward a cluster of sandstone trees ahead. Knowing the wolves can't climb, she urges everyone to make it to the trees. That might be their only chance of survival. As she runs, her thoughts are sharp. These wolves are ruthless. Once they've locked onto prey, they never stop chasing. This fight for survival has only just begun. As the group keeps running, doubt begins to creep in. One of them wonders silently, are we going to die here today? Their pace slows slightly. The wounds from their last battle still linger, and the only 2 pieces of black metal gear they owned were damaged. Their defenses are weaker than ever. Suddenly, one girl stumbles and falls. Shocked, the others shout her name. Panic floods the air as they realize she's become exposed. A desert ghost wolf leaps forward, its jaws wide open, aiming straight for the fallen girl. One of the others screams, warning her to watch out, but the beast is already mid-air. The girl lies on the ground, eyes wide with fear as she sees the desert ghost wolf lunging toward her. She freezes, unable to move in time. In a flash, another figure watches the scene closely. A reflection of the wolf appears in his eyes, locked on its target. His grip tightens, preparing to strike. A blinding blue light tears through the air. With explosive force, it smashes into the wolf mid-air, stopping its attack just inches before the girl. The wolf crashes to the ground, badly injured. The girl quickly gets back on her feet, stunned by the sudden rescue as the beast groans in pain. The desert ghost wolf lies on the ground, blood pooling beneath it. A blade is pierced straight through its body, ending the threat instantly. The girl stares at the fallen beast, eyes wide as she realizes someone stepped in and saved her life. She notices the towering figure standing beside the corpse. Her gaze slowly lifts toward the cloaked figure. The desert wind carries dust through the golden light as the stranger begins to walk away. She clutches her weapon tightly, still kneeling beside the dead wolf. Her thoughts race in disbelief. He saved me? A glowing panel appears above the cloaked figure, level 1. The girl watches in disbelief, unable to comprehend what she just saw. Her eyes widen as she stares at the back of the one who saved her. Shocked, she mutters to herself, a level 1? The man casually stands as wolves in the distance growl. Another group of beasts begins approaching, yet he remains calm. With a cold expression, he finally speaks. According to him, level 3 monsters aren't that strong, implying their fear was misplaced, or his power, deeply hidden. A new pack of desert ghost wolves charges in, howling fiercely with glowing red eyes, their claws ripping into the sand as they sprint toward him. He remains unfazed. With a calm grip, he draws his weapon, light crackling around the blade as energy begins to surge. In a flash, he leaps forward. Lightning explodes beneath his feet, propelling him with incredible speed. His body glows with raw force as the ground shatters behind him. The wolves leap at him mid-air, jaws open, but he meets them head-on without hesitation, ready to strike them down all at once. With a blur of swift slashes, the cloaked man cuts through every wolf in mid-air. Blood sprays as all 4 monsters are defeated in one powerful motion. The 3 girls watch in complete shock. Their eyes widen as they witness the impossible unfold before them. As dust settles, he stands tall with his blade pointed down, the corpses of the desert ghost wolves lying at his feet. Sunlight gleams across the bloodied sword. One of the girls stares at him, stunned. He killed 4 desert ghost wolves, using just a newbie sword. The girls gasp as one of them points into the distance. Alarm fills their voices, something's coming. Fast, dozens of desert ghost wolves emerge, forming a massive wave of black fur and red eyes. Their growls echo across the canyon. standing at the front. The cloaked man watches the horde approaching without panic, while the two girls behind him tremble at the sight, confused and terrified. They question where this new wave came from. One of them suggests the blood of the fallen wolves may have drawn out the entire pack. One of the girls frantically yells for everyone to run. She warns that a wolf horde like this could wipe out an entire rookie village. If they stay, they'll be torn to pieces. But the man doesn't move. Instead, he turns slightly, a faint smirk forming. With a calm tone, he replies, "Really?" As green light swirls around him, he calmly activates a summoning interface. Cards float in the air, each glowing with eerie energy. A digital prompt appears before him. Player Lin Yuan, would you like to summon skeleton warriors? His finger hovers over the cards, ready to unleash what's next. With steady eyes and no hesitation, he utters a single word, confirm. The decision is made instantly. The summon cards burst into the sky, glowing with vibrant energy as they circle around him. One by one, the cards rain down across the battlefield. Each impact shakes the ground, signaling the arrival of something powerful. A massive magic circle forms beneath his feet. Glowing runes and green energy swirl violently as he stands tall, ready to summon his army of undead. From the glowing summoning circle, a skeletal hand erupts from the ground, followed by others. Breaking free from the earth below, several armored skeleton warriors rise, glowing with dark green energy. A system panel reveals, Level 5, HP 100, Attack 55, Defense 5, Skill. Enduring across the battlefield, the desert ghost wolves snarl with rage. Their red eyes flash as they prepare to charge again. Their growls intensify as they sprint toward the undead army, jaws open and claws ready, completely unaware of the powerful defense now standing before them. A confident smirk forms on his face as a green glow flickers in his eye. With calm defiance, he whispers, "Let's see who gets torn to pieces first." The skeleton warriors charge forward, eyes blazing with emerald fire. Their shields rise, swords gleaming as they prepare for the clash. The first wolf lunges, but the undead soldiers intercept it mid-air, blades slashing through its path with precise, brutal force. At the center of it all, he fights alongside his army. With each swing of his sword, wolves fall, unable to match the coordination of man and undead. 15 minutes later, the battlefield lies silent. Blood stains the sand as lifeless wolves collapse one after another. With one final strike, the man finishes off the last desert ghost wolf. He stands tall, sword dripping, the battle clearly won. The system displays his rewards. He's slain 16 wolves and gained 160 exp. Alongside his skeleton warriors, he begins collecting the loot. The spoils of victory include 16 desert ghost wolf teeth, hides, and claws. Green light hovers over the corpses, marking every gain from the brutal clash. As the green glow from the summoning fades, the man calmly seals his energy. The storm has passed, but his presence remains intense. Behind the rocks, the girls watch in disbelief. One of them stammers, "Did he really just kill all 12 desert ghost wolves alone?" Stepping forward, the pink-haired girl hesitantly asks if he's a mage. She mentions she's a mage too, but she's never seen a summoning skill like his. Without turning fully, he responds coldly, "Who said that I'm a mage?" His red eyes glint with mystery, leaving them even more confused. The girl stares at him, stunned, slowly piecing it together. Her voice trembles as she begins, "Then you are a..." He doesn't answer immediately, but a small smirk crosses his lips. A status screen appears. He belongs to an SSS tier forbidden class Lin Yuan. He's not just any fighter, he's a reincarnator from the blue planet, and his class is Necromancer. His level is 2, with talents like Dark Summon and Hell's Gate. He explains that 3 years ago, a giant celestial body called the Magic Planet appeared beside the blue planet. Since then, everything began to change. 3 months ago, the world was shaken when a mysterious company launched a new virtual reality game called Immortal World. Its announcement created global buzz. Players used special VR goggles to enter the Immortal World. Inside, they leveled up, unlocked classes, and gained the power to fight monsters just like a typical game. At first, no one took it seriously. But soon, people started developing real-life versions of the powers they acquired in-game. These rare individuals became known as the Chosen Ones. Not all was good, though. A dark cult known as the Evil Star God Believers began to emerge. They used this connection between game and reality to cross over and began killing people. A violent attack ravaged the city. Chaos unfolded as monstrous creatures and energy blasts destroyed everything in their path. In the aftermath, he knelt beside his parents' lifeless bodies. That catastrophe took everything from him: his home, his family. Though humanity united its strongest forces to fight back, the cultists overwhelmed them. The war turned into a massacre. And in the final battle, he too was killed, his body shattered in crimson light as he fell into darkness. To his surprise, just an hour ago, he was reincarnated back to the very moment he first logged into Immortal World. Everything was reset. But this time, fate gave him a different hand. The system awarded him the only SSS tier forbidden class, Necromancer, with talents like Dark Summon and Hell's Gate. Determined, he vows to grow stronger faster than before. He's no longer fighting just for himself, but for the protection of Blue Planet and his family. As he stands over the corpses of slain wolves, his grip on the sword tightens. The past won't repeat this time, he'll change everything. As the sun sets behind him, he kneels beside one of the wolf corpses. With a focused expression, he extends his hand over its body. Dark energy begins to swirl from his fingertips, forming spectral claws and ghostly tendrils. The ritual of Dark Summon has begun. A system prompt appears: do you want to use Dark Summoning on desert ghost wolf corpses? The answer is immediate yes. One of the wolf corpses jolts. Its eyes snap open, now glowing with eerie green light. The undead rise under his control. The transformation begins. The wolf's undead form now grants him more than just control, it also enhances his own body, giving him a warrior-like physique. These zombie beasts not only retain their original stats, but also gain a new ability, Body of Death. This makes them immune to most negative effects like poison, bleeding, and burns. Summoning another array, he prepares his second SSS tier skill, Hell's Gate. A massive green magic circle forms in front of him, pulsing with raw energy. This ability allows him to store his summoned monsters after using Dark Summon. And the higher his level, the more creatures he can command at once. The massive gate to Hell's Gate finishes, forming its intricate markings pulse with green energy as it looms high in the sky. This power is immense. The gate unlocks with a sharp sound, revealing a glowing portal. Light spills out as the door prepares to accept the summoned undead. The reanimated wolves walk toward the portal. Without hesitation, they step inside, obedient and fully under his control. Surrounded by ghostly energy and a growing undead force, he calmly thinks, if my level gets high enough, I'll gain an unstoppable army of death. The girl with glasses steps forward, shocked. Seeing him summon the dead into zombie wolves, she demands answers. Who are you? He casually checks the time, ignoring the panic. Calmly, he states that something important is about to arrive. Suddenly, a red system alert flashes in the sky. World boss Giant Death Wolf is descending onto Gravel Desert. With a confident smirk and burning eyes, he prepares for battle. It's time to kill the boss. Thunder roars across the crimson sky as lightning bolts rain down violently. The atmosphere grows heavy, something terrifying is approaching. A crack tears through the heavens, splitting the sky open like shattered glass. All eyes turn upward, panic rising. A massive black form descends through the rift, cloaked in red lightning and shadow. The ground below begins to tremble under its presence. From the cliffs, panicked soldiers shout in fear, the giant death wolf is coming, their faces pale as the true boss finally arrives. As the sky cracks open, one terrified soldier recalls the game's data: the boss's attack range is 50 meters. Panic erupts as he screams for everyone to run. Dozens of players sprint across the desert in fear, scrambling to get outside the boss's strike zone before it's too late. A flash of red tears through the air. In an instant, someone is ripped apart with a scream. Caught in the boss's devastating speed, two men hiding behind rocks freeze in shock, their eyes wide with fear as they realize just how deadly this boss truly is. The giant death wolf finally appears, its blood-red eyes locked onto its prey, snarling with terrifying bloodlust. It lunges forward, jaws wide open, sinking its fangs into a helpless soldier mid-scream. The air fills with chaos and gore. Bodies are torn apart instantly as the monster rampages. No one can stop it. Players are slaughtered where they stand. Its status appears: Giant Death Wolf Lord, level 6. With high HP, deadly attack power, and brutal skills like Death Claw and Howl, it's a walking catastrophe. Chaos erupts as players retreat in fear. One man tries to hold his brother back, yelling that charging alone at the giant death wolf is suicide. They question whether a world boss like this can even be defeated. Its terrifying power has everyone doubting survival. Suddenly, someone spots a lone figure walking confidently toward the battlefield. Confusion and disbelief spread among the hiding players. The camera shifts on the open path. A mysterious black-cloaked man strides forward alone, his sword ready. All eyes now turn to him. The black-cloaked man walks toward the battlefield, his cloak fluttering and sword in hand. His sharp red eyes show no fear. Hidden players observe him from behind rocks. Judging by his basic sword, they assume he's just a clueless newbie. They discuss the threat. The giant death wolf is a level 6 Lord grade boss. Even their full party combined couldn't hurt it. How could one man stand a chance? A flashback explains that Lord grade monsters are nearly impossible to defeat alone, and even top-ranked players require full squads to survive. The man stops firmly in place, unshaken, as his boots press into the dirt. He gazes ahead with unwavering determination. The giant death wolf leaps toward him from the ridge. Observers gasp in shock, certain the man is doomed. The bystanders shout at him to retreat, warning he's walking straight into death against a level 6 world boss. The beast towers over him with glowing red eyes and bared fangs. Despite the overwhelming presence, the man doesn't flinch. The black-haired man calmly steps forward and stares down the beast. He declares coldly that it is nothing to him now. The giant death wolf growls in fury, its eyes bloodshot and fangs dripping with fresh blood. It unleashes a powerful energy attack, activating its special skill, Howl, firing a blast of force directly at the man. With perfect timing, the man swiftly dodges, his body moving like lightning, eyes focused and blade ready. A deadly red portal opens. Players panic and flee, remembering the monster's 50-meter attack range. One man is caught mid-sentence and killed instantly. The giant death wolf appears, slaughtering everyone. Its stats show it's a level 6 Lord boss. Hidden adventurers spot Lin Yuan walking straight toward it. They think he's a newbie with a death wish. But Lin Yuan stays calm, staring down the beast. Even a full team couldn't hurt it, yet he moves alone. The boss uses Howl and Death Claw. Lin Yuan dodges easily. He remembers everything about this monster from his past life. This time, he's ready. Lin Yuan remembers the past. He nearly died fighting this same boss with a full group, unable to land a single hit. But now, after reincarnation and surviving countless battles, he's no longer weak. He faces the beast head-on. The giant death wolf launches a massive ground slam, tearing the battlefield apart. Lin Yuan doesn't flinch. With perfect timing, he dodges and counterattacks, slicing into the beast's side with deadly precision. One of the onlookers is shocked by Lin Yuan's insane speed. Realizing this isn't a normal player, the giant death wolf becomes enraged, activating its rage mode and growing more ferocious. But Lin Yuan simply smiles, unfazed by the beast's transformation. He calmly places his hand on the ground, preparing for his next move. Lin Yuan activates a powerful summoning circle, glowing with intense green energy. With a command to rise, an enormous chained gate begins to emerge from the ground. The giant wolf senses danger, pausing as the towering gate looms over the battlefield. The sealed gate rises completely, shaking the area with its ominous presence. Lin Yuan summons his undead army with confidence, commanding, "Go, my army of death." From the Hell's Gate, zombie ghost wolves charge out, overwhelming the battlefield. The nearby adventurers are stunned, realizing he turned level 3 desert wolves into undead soldiers. Lin Yuan charges with his army, thinking it was a bit late, but reaching level 3 and expanding Hell's Gate was worth it. Lin Yuan recalls the aggro rule. Bosses target the summoner if he's stronger than his summons unless they get attacked first. The enraged death wolf charges straight toward Lin Yuan, ignoring the ghost wolves around it. One of the zombie wolves howls, finally drawing the boss's attention with a direct strike. The death wolf, now provoked, turns mid-attack and prepares to strike the zombie wolf. Instead, Lin Yuan sees his opening and signals himself now's the time to act. He uses the aggro switch tactic. When the boss targets the summons, he interrupts to shift its focus. He unleashes a powerful sword strike, slashing the death wolf mid-charge. The death wolf roars in pain, its body writhing from the sudden assault. Lin Yuan clashes with the death wolf again, drawing its aggro toward himself. Once the boss locks onto him, he quickly sends the zombie wolves to bite again, shifting the focus. He strategizes. Although each zombie deals small damage, their numbers can overwhelm the 400 GP boss. The death wolf roars in frustration, surrounded and bitten from all sides as Lin Yuan maintains control. The bystanders watch in awe, shocked by Lin Yuan's undead army overpowering a boss-level beast. They whisper in disbelief this creature is a Lord rank world boss, yet it's being cornered. A few minutes later, as the dust settles, Lin Yuan makes his move for the final blow. With the boss's HP reduced to 500, Lin Yuan leaps forward, sword raised, aiming straight at its head. Lin Yuan lands a fierce blow, slashing the boss with full force as blood splashes across his face. It's a critical hit. The boss's HP drops rapidly from 500 to 80 in an instant. Just then, a group of enemies charges at him from behind, their swords raised. Seeing his zombie army gone, they believe Lin Yuan is vulnerable and rush to steal the boss kill. Lin Yuan senses danger behind him, his eyes glowing red with focus. One of the bystanders yells, warning him to watch out. Lin Yuan stays calm, locking his glare on the incoming attackers. With a swift slash, he counters mid-air, cutting down the enemies before they can land a hit. With a single clean slash, Lin Yuan takes down the attacking bandits instantly. He calmly warns them not to overestimate themselves, standing tall over their bodies. The bystanders are stunned. He defeated 3 level 3 enemies with just one move. As the bloodied world boss glares at him, Lin Yuan prepares for the final showdown. Lin Yuan unleashes another powerful slash, landing a critical hit on the massive beast. The giant death wolf collapses, defeated. Lin Yuan stands tall, calmly watching it fall. He wonders aloud what rewards this first world boss will grant him. Golden light bursts out, revealing a treasure chest and a glowing soul gem. His victory confirmed. Lin Yuan picks up the glowing soul gem, realizing it can be exchanged later for legendary equipment. He recalls that after reaching level 60, players must visit the Eternal Council of the Elves, but for now, this gem is his best shortcut to power. He reflects on a past event where he used his knowledge to trick enemies and secure a bronze-ranked robe with decent stats. A system message appears. Lin Yuan becomes the first player to kill a world boss and receives the title Hunter, boosting his attack and spell damage. Lin Yuan explains that in the immortal world, titles can provide powerful boosts. The Hunter title has a great bonus effect. As the first player to kill a world boss, he's rewarded with a silver chest. He opens it curiously. Inside, he finds rare items: a silver moon sword, eye of death accessory, healing potion, skill scroll, and monster essence that boosts attributes. Looking over his new inventory, he's thrilled. The rewards from the first world boss are incredibly generous. After defeating the boss, Lin Yuan's exp is calculated, and he instantly levels up from 3 to 4, almost maxing it out. Each level up grants free attribute points. Lin Yuan distributes his into mind and strength, making him the strongest in the gravel desert. His profession is Forbidden Necromancer with the talent of Dark Summoning. After leveling up, his underworld gate can now hold 40 zombies. Though all zombie ghost wolves were sacrificed in battle, his gate's capacity has increased significantly. Lin Yuan stands before the corpse of the giant death wolf as green summoning energy begins to swirl around it. A system prompt appears, asking if he wants to use dark summoning on the wolf. Without hesitation, he agrees. The wolf's eye suddenly glows with an eerie green light, signifying the summoning process has begun. Its claw twitches, reacting to the dark energy. Resurrection is underway. Suddenly, a massive figure emerges in front of Lin Yuan, a mutated green undead wolf far more intimidating than before. The atmosphere turns tense as its overwhelming aura surges forward, dwarfing everything in the surroundings. Its stats are revealed: level 6, HP 12000, attack power 360, and terrifying passive and active abilities that boost its strength even further. This is the giant death wolf, an evolved elite with enhanced undead synergy and critical damage potential. Lin Yuan is now up against a true monster. Lin Yuan stood beside the giant death wolf, once a world boss. Now under his control, the beast had powerful area damage and crowd control abilities perfect for his undead army. Using the death wolf, Lin Yuan could instantly replenish zombies through the underworld gate, showing how far his necromancer powers had evolved. The crowd watched in shock. That eerie gate, the zombie wolves, and even the world boss were all under his command. Lin Yuan was far more terrifying than the boss itself. While others trembled, Lin Yuan simply muttered, "HM?" his red eyes glowing coldly. He was just getting started. As Lin Yuan looked over the edge, he noticed something unusual: ripples in the water. It seemed the threat hadn't completely vanished. Turning back cautiously, he muttered that the enemies were still around. The tension hadn't fully lifted yet. After defeating the 3 bandits, they dropped a black iron sword, a decent weapon for beginners. But Lin Yuan already had something better. He gripped his silver moon sword tightly. With it in hand, he was more than ready for whatever came next. As Lin Yuan approached with his sword, panic spread among the group. They feared he might force them to drop their equipment or worse. One of them suggested running, but it was already too late. Lin Yuan had his eyes locked on the one who shouted earlier. Confronted directly, the man froze in fear, unable to speak clearly under the pressure. The tension was unbearable. Instead of attacking, Lin Yuan handed him the sword. The man, stunned and confused, heard a firm command, "Take it." The man stared at the sword in disbelief. It wasn't just any weapon, it was something valuable. Lin Yuan calmly said it might be useful and walked away without expecting anything in return. The group around him erupted in shock. It was a black iron rank sword worth tens of thousands. They couldn't believe Lin Yuan gave it away. 10 minutes later, Lin Yuan walked alone across the desert, leaving behind stunned players and a powerful impression. Lin Yuan suddenly sensed something strange, a powerful energy shift that caught him off guard. Blue electric currents surged through the space, signaling something was wrong. His vision blurred as the system forcefully disconnected. The device on his head flashed red. He removed the helmet with a sigh. As expected, the battery ran out and he was pulled back to reality. After logging out, Lin Yuan removed his headset and sighed. The low battery had cut his session short. He realized he urgently needed to earn money to buy a proper game pod for smoother access. Staring at the screen, he read the game's name, Immortal World. It wasn't just any game. It was a hyper-realistic holographic game with regional login zones and multiple kingdoms, each offering unique experiences. In his own area alone, there were 4 different nations to explore. The game offered 4 unique starting locations: West Desert Ancient Country, Southern Empire, Northern Hades Empire, and Tidal Island. Each region had its own environment and advantages, making the choice critical for players' growth. Lin Yuan stood before the selection screen, ready to begin his journey once again. Despite being reborn, he made the same decision as in his past life, choosing the place he once started from. Lin Yuan chose the West Desert Ancient Country as his starting point, just like in his past life, because before dying, he had uncovered a crucial secret. In a flashback, chaos erupted in the real world. A monstrous red portal unleashed destruction, and people screamed for help. Buried under rubble, Lin Yuan struggled to breathe as the city crumbled around him. Desperate cries for rescue filled the air. A mysterious figure appeared, walking calmly through the smoke, someone who might change everything. Lin Yuan's eyes widened in shock as he recognized the overwhelming aura ahead. A cloaked figure floated upward, facing the enormous red and green vortex in the sky. Beside the vortex, mysterious winged beings hovered, emissaries of something far beyond ordinary. The figure moved closer to the portal, exuding unmatched power, as if preparing to confront a force from another world. Lin Yuan identified the yellow sapphire emblem. It belonged to the West Desert Ancient Country Guild. He realized that the first believer of the Starry Sky, Evil God, had come from that very guild. In the past, that believer played a crucial role in summoning the Evil God to Earth, causing devastation. Now, with 3 years before that event, Lin Yuan planned to eliminate him early and stop the tragedy from ever happening again. Lin Yuan narrowed in on the only clue: he had a yellow sapphire badge linked to a West Desert guild. He realized only main city guilds had that badge, and to reach them, he needed to hit level 10 quickly. Determined to act, he suddenly remembered something important and his eyes lit up. Pulling out his interface card, he prepared to begin his next move with urgency and focus. Lin Yuan wondered if he could really summon a skeleton card. The strange energy flowing through him gave him hope. In Immortal World, some players could channel their game powers into reality. They were known as Chosen Ones. Lin Yuan had also been a Chosen One in his past life, but this time, he had awakened the Forbidden Class Necromancer. He felt satisfied with the power it granted, though he was still unsure why his version of the class differed from others. Lin Yuan suddenly snapped out of deep thought, realizing the time had passed quickly. He headed toward the door, determined to handle things differently this time around. At the dining table, his parents looked surprised and unsure of what to say to him. The meal was ready, and a warm voice welcomed him to eat, marking a fresh start in his second chance at life. Lin Yuan's parents happily accepted his rare gesture cooking for them. It was a warm moment he never cherished in his past life. He reflected on how people only understand the value of something after losing it. This time, he wanted to make up for past regrets. In his previous life, he was addicted to games and indifferent to reality, ignoring the warnings of those who cared. But when disaster struck and he lost everything, he realized far too late just how blind and ungrateful he had been. Lin Yuan paused, startled by a sudden realization it was Sunday. He asked if Xiao Tan wasn't coming home for the meal, noticing her absence from the table. His mother explained Xiao Tan was preparing for exams and brought lunch to school. She asked Yuan to take food to her later. As they enjoyed the meal, his parents joked about the delicious chicken wings, surprised and proud that Yuan had learned to cook. Lin Yuan's father was surprised by the flavor as he took a bite of the food his son had made. Lin Yuan, wearing an apron, calmly said he would learn to cook even more dishes in the future. His parents sat silently for a moment, stunned by the change in him. Then, with warm smiles, they accepted it. His mother replied simply, "Okay." Lin Yuan pushed his body through intense workouts, sit-ups, running, and more driven by a new purpose. He knew that to control the power from the game in the real world, he needed a strong and durable body. Whether through boxing or sprinting down forest paths, he trained with relentless focus. After clocking 50 meters in 5.5 seconds, he noted his progress but reminded himself there was still plenty of room to grow. After an intense training session, Lin Yuan glanced at his watch, sweat dripping down. He checked the time. His schedule was tight and carefully planned. With sharp red eyes and steady breath, he regained focus. It was time to return. His journey wasn't over, it was just beginning. Lin Yuan re-entered the virtual world, stepping into the gravel desert with determination. As he moved through the sands, a shadow passed overhead, followed by a sharp cawing sound. He quickly dashed forward, his figure blending with the shifting shadows in the stormy desert winds. Sensing something unusual, Lin Yuan glanced up and muttered, "Oh," ready for what was coming. In the blazing sky, a flock of aggressive howling birds swooped down toward Lin Yuan. One of them, a level 2 bird with basic attack and peck skills, locked onto him with a shriek. In a blur of strikes, Lin Yuan swiftly cut down 3 of them, gaining a small amount of experience. He turned away calmly, unimpressed. Only 15 exp. It wasn't enough. Lin Yuan observed silently as the desert winds shifted, something ominous drawing near. Suddenly, a green-feathered bird took flight in panic, its instincts sensing danger before it appeared. A heavy paw slammed into the ground. Something fast and deadly was approaching. A horde of black-furred beasts with glowing red eyes charged forward, eyes locked on their prey. The real battle was just beginning. Lin Yuan stood calmly, noting how the bird he used had successfully attracted a swarm of desert ghost wolves. Without panic, he pulled out a small container and prepared himself for battle. He drank the monster essence, instantly boosting all his attributes by +10. Eyes sharp and focused, Lin Yuan crouched into position ready to strike. Now. A pack of desert ghost wolves charged at Lin Yuan, their red eyes glowing with murderous intent. Unfazed, Lin Yuan met their attack head-on, slashing through with swift precision. His warm-up had begun. The wolves pounced in a frenzy, but Lin Yuan struck them down mid-air with overwhelming force. Blue energy streaked through the air as he eliminated them one by one, another 4 wolves down in seconds. Lin Yuan dashed forward as the wolves closed in, eyes locked onto their target. From every direction, the desert ghost wolves surrounded him, forming a deadly circle. But Lin Yuan stood his ground, calm and ready to strike. With a firm grip on his glowing weapon, he inhaled deeply, preparing for the next explosive clash. Lin Yuan's eyes gleamed with confidence. "Just nice," he muttered. With one swift slash, he unleashed a devastating wave of power. The desert ghost wolves were torn apart in a flash of blue energy. The system confirmed it 40 kills and a level up. Lin Yuan had reached level 5. The underworld gate swarmed with undead as Lin Yuan stood ready. His zombie army was fully replenished. Now a level 5 necromancer with powerful stats, Lin Yuan had reached a new threshold in strength. He reflected that after consuming monster essence, he could now solo elite monsters of his level. Looking into the distance, he muttered, Now, I should also go find that, as a new destination came into view. The view shifts to Black Sand Town, a busy settlement nestled in the desert landscape. The hooded protagonist walks calmly through the crowd, drawing little attention. He stops at a building, looking up at a specific door with purpose. Quietly, he pushes it open and steps inside, shadows swallowing his figure. An old man named Kun Roman 11, the mage instructor of Black Sand Town, hears a knock and asks who it is. The hooded protagonist enters and politely states he's here to learn a skill. A narration explains that skills in this world are usually obtained by defeating monsters or finding skill books in treasure chests. A man holding a skill book stands over a slain beast, highlighting the power and value of such skills. Every profession has a mentor assigned to guide new players. These instructors are responsible for teaching core skills. The protagonist recognizes Kun Roman 11 as his mage instructor from a past life and notes that his payment will fund Kun's eyes drinking for weeks. He recalls that the necromancer is a forbidden class. Though unfamiliar with its skills, it resembles a mage in combat style. Before learning necromancer abilities, he requests basic mage skills: soul fire, healing, and invisibility. The protagonist throws a pouch of money to the instructor, who admits that teaching skills is easy when payment is involved. The pouch is filled with silver, and the instructor is clearly pleased. The instructor tells him to work hard and blesses him with the mage's glory, beginning the skill transfer. He successfully learns 2 mage skills. Soul Fire deals 100% magic damage, costs 10 mana, 10's cooldown. Heal restores 10% HP, costs 10 mana, 3 minutes cooldown. He acquires his 3rd mage skill. Invisibility enters stealth for 5 seconds, costs 10 mana, 3 minutes cooldown. He evaluates his current skills: Soul Fire for attack, Heal for recovery, and Invisibility for emergencies. Although these are just the basics, he realizes he needs more resources to learn advanced abilities. Determined to grow stronger, he heads toward Black Sand Mountain for his next grind. Lin Yuan discovers a dark cave system, the entrance to the kobold mine, and receives a system notification confirming the location. He recalls details about kobolds, level 5 monsters that live in dark crypts and caves, rely on sharp senses, and favor sneak attacks. With determined eyes, Lin Yuan decides kobolds are ideal for leveling up his zombie army due to their numbers and matching level. He drinks a night vision potion he bought from an NPC, gaining 3 meters of dark vision for 30 minutes, preparing for the battle ahead. Lin Yuan plans to use the kobolds not just for leveling up, but also to increase proficiency in his skills like invisibility and soul fire, and to loot treasure chests. He commands his undead to lead the way deeper into the cave, lighting the path with a normal fire that gives a 5-meter visibility range. The group advances through the cave tunnels, surrounded by glowing kobold enemies lurking in the shadows. 15 minutes later, Lin Yuan continues navigating the dark passage, cautiously moving forward as kobolds follow from behind. Lin Yuan becomes alert as he senses danger ahead while holding his torch. In the darkness, he and his summoned creatures hear suspicious sounds echoing from the cave. Suddenly, a bald enemy leaps out from the shadows with a glowing weapon, aiming directly at him. The torchlight reveals multiple kobolds emerging from below, preparing for a coordinated ambush. A kobold's glowing red eye flares up in the darkness, signaling its alertness. Multiple kobolds charge out from the shadows, snarling aggressively. A detailed stat panel appears for the kobold miner level 5, HP 120, with skills Dig and Smash. Lin Yuan identifies the enemy's kobold miners have appeared, ready to fight. A fiery explosion lights up the battlefield, signaling the start of the fight. A kobold commands its pack to kill all enemies without mercy. The kobolds charge in aggressively, snarling and ready to strike. Lin Yuan slashes through 2 kobolds in one clean move. System message confirms both have been killed. Lin Yuan faces a kobold's smash attack head-on, taking minor damage as the skill activates. With a swift counterattack, he eliminates 8 kobold miners in one sweeping strike. Surrounded by more enemies, he prepares to dodge as several kobolds charge at once. Smirking confidently, Lin Yuan activates his invisibility skill to vanish from sight. 2 kobold miners swing their weapons at Lin Yuan, but he swiftly dodges and counters their attack. He appears behind one kobold, taunts it, and then slashes through both enemies. Blood sprays as he eliminates 20 kobolds in one sweeping attack. Lin Yuan stands atop a ledge, his cloak flowing as he overlooks the fallen enemies, glowing with dominance. Lin Yuan smiles as he notes his invisibility skill proficiency has improved. He acknowledges that regular kobold miners are too weak to help him level up efficiently. Suddenly, he spots a new threat: kobold miners reanimated with eerie green flames. The screen displays their stats. Undead kobold miners, still level 5, but now enhanced with undead bodies and special effects. Lin Yuan commands the newly summoned undead kobolds to replace the ghost wolves. He's determined. I have to quickly find the boss here. He moves deeper into the cave, his undead soldiers following closely. He halts mid-step, sensing something unusual. Before him lies a mysterious wall with multiple tunnel openings. He notes a side path, signaling a possible hidden route to the boss. Lin Yuan hears something and turns cautiously, muttering, His eyes lock onto movement within the dark rock wall crevices. Something is lurking. With a confident smile, he conjures green energy and says, "Found you." He attacks swiftly, eliminating 2 mud slimes. A message confirms, "You have killed Mud Slime X2, X plus 4. Lin Yuan notices glowing red eyes watching him from the shadows. Sensing danger, he rushes forward with his undead wolves toward the threat. A massive elite enemy, the Kobold Overseer, ambushes them with a whip attack. Its stats are revealed: level 6, 350 GP, 100 attack power. A narration echoes, "The predator may one day become prey," foreshadowing a brutal clash. Lin Yuan uses Smash to kill kobold miners quickly. He dodges their attacks and activates invisibility to ambush more, killing 20 in total. He stands on a rock as bodies fall. Since weak enemies give little XP, he revives kobold corpses as undead and sends them ahead. While exploring, he finds a side path. He spots enemies, uses magic, and kills 2 mud slimes. Then, glowing red eyes appear in the dark. A red kobold overseer attacks with a whip. Lin Yuan prepares to fight, knowing even predators can fall prey in this deadly dungeon. Smoke covers the battlefield, hiding everything in silence. A beast attacks a serpent, but it's all part of a hidden plan. A red eye watches calmly. This is the perfect moment to strike. Lin Yuan steps out with a red chain, revealing the true hunter. He grips the spiked chain tightly and calmly says, "Got you." The beast charges forward, unaware it's already been targeted. He swings the chain with force, slamming the beast into the ground. The beast roars in pain, but quickly leaps up again, ready to fight. The beast looks shocked, sensing something dangerous. He raises his hand, casting a glowing spell that strikes fast. The attack hits directly, killing the beast on the spot. As the body collapses, he calmly walks away while another growl echoes behind him. Lin Yuan watches calmly as growls echo through the tunnel. Dozens of beasts appear, their numbers growing rapidly. The enemy leader activates a bloodthirsty skill, boosting their power. Lin Yuan stays confident, knowing his followers can match them in both strength and numbers. Lin Yuan summons his beasts, telling them to come out and breathe some fresh air. Several fierce wolves charge forward as he prepares a spell behind them. With a calm smile, he declares the beginning of a hunt. Standing atop his massive wolf, Lin Yuan signals the official start of the battle. The demonic wolves charge in, tearing through the enemies without mercy. One wolf activates a powerful skill, Demonic Wolf's Howl, shaking the battlefield. The shockwave stuns dozens of enemies, overwhelming their defenses. A kobold collapses, bleeding heavily and completely stunned by the brutal assault. Lin Yuan gives the command it's time to strike. The wolves leap into action, tearing through enemies on his signal. A series of system messages confirm the kill count, showing dozens of kobold supervisors defeated. Surrounded by fallen enemies, Lin Yuan levels up to 6 as his beasts roar in triumph. Lin Yuan summons undead kobold elites, glowing with eerie green light. The enemies panic and attempt to flee as his forces close in. He taunts them, asking if they really think escape is an option. Slashing through with his glowing blade, Lin Yuan says to let his sword decide. Lin Yuan braces as a massive golden strike comes crashing down. He dodges swiftly and counters with his own powerful slash. the enemy boss roars and activates the skill Decisive Strike. Facing the level 10 boss, Lin Yuan calmly says it's been a while since he had a real fight. The boss slams the ground, sending debris flying toward Lin Yuan. His hammer strikes the wall but gets stuck in the stone. Lin Yuan seizes the moment, readying his weapon without hesitation. Shouting "Now!" he leaps forward to deliver a powerful counterattack. Lin Yuan strikes the boss with a glowing slash, but it barely leaves a mark. Despite hitting directly, the attack fails to pierce the tough skin. The boss roars in anger and counters with a powerful swing, shattering the ground. Lin Yuan looks surprised, realizing the boss's defense is stronger than expected. The boss lunges with a fierce attack, forcing Lin Yuan to block. The ground cracks beneath the impact as the boss roars wildly. Lin Yuan quickly dodges, sliding across the ground to create distance. He analyzes calmly the boss's strength is far beyond elite monsters, possibly 2 to 3 times stronger. Lin Yuan plans to keep his distance while steadily dealing damage. He summons his beasts with a command to rise, surrounding the boss. The boss uses a powerful skill, triggering a double damage finisher. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan shouts "Attack!" and launches the assault. The undead beasts leap onto the boss, catching him off guard. One of the wolves activates the group's skill Undead's Wrath, boosting power and crit rate. The fierce pack unleashes a relentless assault, tearing into the enemy. As the dust clears, the boss stands injured but still radiating power, while Lin Yuan watches from above. Lin Yuan activates Spirit Flame Magic, conjuring a glowing green orb. He launches the spell, raining down flames on the boss from above. Remembering the boss's weak magic resistance, he strikes hard damage numbers stack quickly. The boss screams in agony, overwhelmed by the intense magical assault. Lin Yuan dodges swiftly as the boss charges in full force. He activates his skill Vanish, disappearing into thin air with a smirk. Reappearing above, he prepares to strike, vowing to show no mercy. Targeting the boss's weak spot, he aims straight for the unarmored flesh. Lin Yuan strikes from above, driving his weapon straight into the boss. The blade pierces deep into its head, causing massive blood loss. The boss lets out a deafening roar as a huge chunk of health is lost. As the enemy recoils, Lin Yuan readies himself and commands it to come at him. A massive green wolf slams its paw down, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. Its claws tighten as it prepares for a deadly charge. With Lin Yuan riding atop, the pack rushes in for a coordinated assault. The boss realizes too late its armor has already been breached and the wolves are closing in fast. Standing tall, Lin Yuan prepares his final spell and declares, "The next strike will kill you." He unleashes a storm of green flames, rapidly draining the enemy's health. The boss struggles, growling in pain as the fire consumes him. Trapped in the burning storm, the beast lets out a desperate scream, unable to escape. The remaining kobolds rush forward, growling in desperation. Lin Yuan watches calmly and remarks it's nothing but a desperate struggle. System notifications flood in, dozens of enemies have been successfully eliminated. Suddenly, a massive figure stomps forward, startling Lin Yuan with its overwhelming presence. Surrounded by lightning, Lin Yuan spots a fleeing enemy and says, "Trying to escape?" Clenching his weapon, he warns, "Leave your life behind first." He leaps into the air, aiming a deadly attack straight at the enemy's chest. The strike hits cleanly, piercing through the enemy's body with a flash of red. Lin Yuan examines the reward's 2 skill upgrades appear before him. He smirks slightly, pleased with the outcome of the battle. A glowing bronze treasure chest floats into view, catching his attention. He reaches out and begins to open it, ready to claim what's inside. Lin Yuan opens the treasure chest, releasing a golden glow. He obtains several items: a pouch, torch, skull mask, and shadow gloves. Holding gold coins, he notes they can be exchanged for real money, a valuable reward. He inspects his new gear, including a torch for night vision and a mask that boosts strength and defense. Lin Yuan is surprised to pull out a shiny silver-grade glove from the bronze chest. He equips the shadow gloves, which boost both attack and defense, a rare find from such a low-tier chest. Elsewhere, near the World Gate, 2 powerful brothers observe a battlefield they cleared. They boast about their training, confident that as long as they fight together, nothing can stop them. The guild members praise their leaders for wiping out a horde of phantom wolves in one go. Fei Hu complains that if it weren't for Lin Yuan showing up earlier, they would have secured the first world boss kill. In the distance, a mysterious energy crystal activates, catching the attention of a lion-like beast and Lin Yuan. Their leader scolds Fei Hu for acting impulsively and vows to unleash his anger on Lin Yuan the moment they meet again. Their leader warns the group not to underestimate Lin Yuan and decides to scout a nearby kobold dungeon alone while the rest recover. He instructs them to stay back and conserve their energy, and the others acknowledge his order. Fei Hu feels bitter, blaming Lin Yuan for being scolded repeatedly by his elder brother. Enraged, Fei Hu swears to defeat Lin Yuan in front of his brother to prove his own strength once and for all. One of the men tries to calm the vice leader down, telling him not to be angry over someone like Lin Yuan, and points toward something. Curious, the vice leader asks what it is. He turns his head to look in the direction the man pointed, staring ahead silently. A mysterious and beautiful woman in a revealing witch outfit walks confidently toward them with a staff in hand. The blonde vice leader suddenly smirks with a wicked expression, rubbing his chin as he mutters, "Huh," while the men behind him laugh mischievously, clearly amused by whatever scheme they're thinking up. He successfully adds the undead kobold chief to his collection, significantly boosting his combat strength and undead army count. As he moves forward confidently, the blonde witch girl panics, shouting at the group to stay away from her. She tries to act tough, warning them not to come closer or she'll attack, but her voice reveals her fear. The enemies close in, mocking her fear while one leers, thrilled by the sight of such a beautiful girl. The thugs taunt the mage girl, mocking her and telling her to entertain them, implying sinister intentions. She warns them not to approach or she'll retaliate, but they ignore her, closing in without fear. One of them slaps her hard, mocking her claim and daring her to fight back. They belittle her power, calling her just a trivial mage, convinced she poses no threat. The girl is cornered and restrained as the blonde thug mocks her resistance, declaring her efforts useless. He grabs her forcefully, taunting her and enjoying her struggle, showing his twisted excitement. She screams as he pulls her close, clearly terrified, while he gets more aggressive. Suddenly, a powerful punch smashes into his face, catching him completely off guard. A powerful gauntlet-wearing fist is clenched, radiating force as it's ready to strike. The punch lands brutally on the blonde man, sending him flying backward with a scream. His comrades watch in horror, screaming, "Vice Captain," as they witness the devastating blow. The impact creates a huge crater in the cliff wall, showing the overwhelming strength behind the strike. The blonde man is slammed into a cliff wall, unconscious and defeated, with debris falling around him. The hooded man calmly remarks that the outcome was easier than he expected, his powerful gauntlet still glowing. One of the attackers panics and dashes away, thinking he must report this incident to the captain. The remaining enemies demand the hooded man reveal his identity, warning him that he's provoked the Blood Fist Guild and sealed his doom. The hooded protagonist stands calmly, unfazed by the threats from the enemies around him. A man explains that the Blood Filth Guild was the strongest group during the early days of the game Eternity, dominating the Black Sand Town's newbie village. He reveals that most of the guild's members are infamous red-named players known for their cruelty and evil actions. A series of high-threat individuals from the guild are shown, each marked with a glowing danger tag, hinting at the extreme danger they pose. Lin Yuan asks if they're from the Blood Filth Guild. One replies with confusion. Flashback explains red-named players are criminals who commit theft, looting, and attacks. Lin Yuan recalls the heavy losses he suffered because of them in his past life. Now reborn, he prepares to deal with them before they cause more trouble. The thug proudly admits they're from the Blood Filth Guild and warns Lin Yuan they've provoked their vice captain. He mocks Lin Yuan, claiming it's too late to back out, and warns of a painful death. Another member joins in, laughing and demanding Lin Yuan kneel and beg. But before they can act, Lin Yuan charges forward, slashing with overwhelming power. Lin Yuan's axe cleanly severs the thug's arms mid-attack. The other enemy screams in pain as Lin Yuan coldly mocks him, saying he'll handle the punishment himself. The girl watches in awe, stunned by Lin Yuan's overwhelming strength. Meanwhile, the last enemy trembles in fear, sitting before a massive crater caused by Lin Yuan's strike. The injured man drinks a health potion, trembling as he recovers 20% of his HP and magic power. The guild master arrives, curious to see who dared to challenge them. A girl nervously points out Lin Yuan, who calmly turns to look. A man shouts that Lin Yuan nearly killed the vice master, drawing attention. The guild master grips his weapon tightly, preparing to strike. Lin Yuan's crimson eyes, cold and imposing, silently pressure his enemies. He grips his gleaming axe, sharp as moonlight, ready to strike. Surrounded by a powerful aura, he stands like a reaper, silencing the air. Despite threats from the enemy, Lin Yuan remains still, unmoved by their rage. The guild leader fumes, recognizing Lin Yuan and blaming his underlings for picking the worst target. Enraged, he steps up, determined to fix their mistake with brute force. Lin Yuan calmly asks if he's facing the Blood Filth Guild's leader. The man grips his weapon tightly, declaring that his dignity will not be compromised. Lin Yuan realizes that a battle is inevitable and braces himself. A sudden explosion erupts, launching a man through the air. The girl warns Lin Yuan of a sneak attack coming from behind. A masked enemy lunges at him, yelling and ready to strike with his blade. The masked enemy charges, screaming with rage. The guild leader seizes the moment to strike, thinking it's a perfect opportunity. Lin Yuan swiftly counters, tossing the attacker high into the air with overwhelming force. The guild leader is shocked, yelling in disbelief at what just happened. The green beast appears beside Lin Yuan, exuding overwhelming power. With a fierce roar, the beast swings its axe, launching the enemy high into the air. The impact sends shockwaves through the ground as the enemy crashes down. Lin Yuan charges forward and lands a powerful blow, catching the armored man off guard. Lin Yuan steps forward and declares it's the next enemy's turn. The opponent freezes in fear, realizing what's coming. With one swift, glowing slash, Lin Yuan strikes him down. The man collapses in defeat, while Lin Yuan stands tall, overlooking the scene. Lin Yuan mocks the guild, saying they aren't even worth taking seriously. A warning flashes he gains 2 sin points for killing a human player. He calmly notes that the points will disappear if he avoids further kills for a week. The girl notices the rest of the enemies fleeing and wonders if they should chase them. She suggests chasing, but he dismisses it, calling them mere insects. He walks over to the fallen bodies, triggering loot drops. Several weapons appear, including an explosive axe and dragon fang blades. Lin Yuan notes the weapon's value, saying even if unused, they can fetch a good price. The girl steps forward, blushing with gratitude. She thanks him warmly for saving her life. Curious, she asks for his name, admitting she doesn't know it yet. With a faint smile, Lin Yuan simply begins to reply, "My name." Lin Yuan looks into the distance and declares that one day, his name will be at the top of the world's rankings. The girl is stunned, quietly repeating, "The top 10. As he walks away, she runs after him, asking him to take her along, not caring about fame or lists. The scene ends with her chasing after him, determined to follow. The scene shifts to the howling desert, vast and empty, with the wind stirring the sand. Suddenly, the ground shakes. Something massive is approaching as he watches closely. A terrifying flying thunder scorpion bursts from beneath, launching an ambush. Without hesitation, he charges forward, blades drawn, ready to strike. Surrounded by swarming scorpions, he unleashes a powerful energy wave. The force tears through the monsters, sending limbs flying and dust erupting. His eyes stay sharp and focused, aura crackling fiercely around him. The momentum builds. He's not done yet. Another strike is charging. A devastating attack wipes out all 60 wailing thunder scorpions in one move. A system alert confirms the massacre and announces his level up to 8. He reflects on the unexpected gain, noting how effective the paralysis herb was. Meanwhile, 2 days ago, a mysterious old man with a monocle steps forward, saying, "Hero, we finally meet." He receives a quest from alchemist Emor to gather 100 thunder-infused paralysis herbs in the Wailing Desert. He remembers that a special dungeon will soon open in the main city. The dungeon is full of thunder monsters, requiring high thunder resistance to survive. He recalls that in his past life, thunder resistance potions became extremely valuable. One person even made a fortune off them. Emor says this is his last quest before retirement and reveals it grants the exclusive Thunder Resistance Potion recipe. Completing it now is the only chance for players to get that recipe. Lin Yuan accepts the quest with determination. He sets off for the Wailing Desert, aiming to harvest the rare paralysis herbs before anyone else. Lin Yuan begins harvesting paralysis herbs while aiming to master his gathering skill. His skill boosts speed and offers a rare herb drop chance. The herbs react as he gathers them, glowing with energy. Motivated, he pushes further into the desert to find more. As he steps forward, the ground beneath trembles. He senses something strange and pauses. Suddenly, a giant scorpion bursts out of the sand. The creature attacks instantly, forcing him into evasive action. He leaps back just in time, realizing something is wrong. His eyes widen as the system flashes multiple danger warnings. A massive mutated scorpion crashes down with deadly force. It's the Crystal Demon Thunder Scorpion, level 10 with powerful thunder-based skills. He smirks, acknowledging the tough situation but remains confident. He charges forward, declaring he'll use this chance to unleash his super cutting strike. A surge of power surrounds him as he swings his blade downward. The strike lands with explosive force, slicing through the scorpion's armor. He lands on the monster's back, but realizes its armor is nearly impenetrable. Suddenly, the boss activates its paralyzing thunder strike skill, lightning crackling everywhere. He braces himself as thunder engulfs the area, shouting it's the thunder strike. Just then, the monster follows up with a tail skill, catching him off guard. He stares up, unshaken, as the giant thunder scorpion prepares to strike. The monster leaps into the air, lightning pulsing through its limbs. With a calm yet commanding tone, he addresses someone, "You, kobold." Then he raises his hand and shouts, "Arise," summoning undead warriors to aid him. His strike lands perfectly on the monster's chest, dealing 200 damage with a burst of light. He pauses, puzzled, didn't the double damage activate? Meanwhile, the scorpion shrieks in pain as undead minions swarm it fiercely. Suddenly, glowing green fireballs descend from above, signaling the next attack. Explosions hit the monster repeatedly, boom, 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 as green flames engulf it. The hero declares, "Taste the power of my upgraded flames," causing rapid damage, -50, -50, -50. With a confident smirk, he commands, "Attack," releasing more ghostly fire. The scorpion writhes in pain as dark tendrils begin binding its tail. The scorpion screeches, "Krayog," thrashing as it's restrained by the summoned minions. One of the flame warriors is launched into the air, glowing with power. He crashes down on the scorpion's core, double damage triggered, causing a massive burst, -200, -200. The critical strike lands, and the boss collapses violently as the ground shatters beneath it. A blast hits the ground, creating a massive explosion near the scorpion boss. The scorpion looks confused as the dust clears and the protagonist stands tall. Clenching his lightning-charged fist, he says, "Since there's no opening to get through your shell." His eyes glow red with power. "I'll shatter your entire body and turn it into a pile of shell husks. Prepare to meet." A massive lightning punch crashes into the scorpion's shell, bursting it open from the center. The protagonist shouts, "Your inevitable doom," as lightning surges through the monster's core. With a final strike, the scorpion collapses. Notification appears. You have successfully killed the transformed boss beast, slain Crystal Thunder Scorpion, and obtained 500 experience points. A new profile of the mutated scorpion is revealed, now undead, with upgraded stats and terrifying skills like Undead Body and Crystal Thunderstorm. Loud stomps echo as a new scorpion beast emerges, catching the protagonist's attention. He turns and sees the massive creature climbing over the hill toward him. The scorpion charges rapidly, and he braces himself for what's coming. With a calm look, he mutters, "You've come just in time, ready for the next battle." The scorpion charges in a frenzy, but he's unfazed, standing ready to strike back. Lightning surges as he slashes through the beast, dealing consecutive damage. With glowing red eyes, he leaps into the air, blade raised for a clean blow. The scene cuts rapidly, slashes, counters, and critical hits rain down, overwhelming the enemy. His blade pierces deep into the enemy with a swift and decisive strike. A radiant energy slash follows, wiping out the remaining foes in a clean sweep. Level up, echoes twice as he stands atop a mountain of fallen monsters. His status window appears, Lin Yuan, level 10, Soul Reaper sealed, with rising stats and mysterious talents. He smiles slightly, satisfied with leveling up twice in a row. A panel shows his new loot, Lightning Spear, Guardian's Greaves, Ring of Paralysis, and Phantom's Armguard. Standing over the fallen beasts, he looks over the battlefield. A system message confirms, the demonic beasts in this area have been cleared. A message pops up, congratulations, you have obtained a gold-grade skill book specific to your personal ability. He holds the glowing book, surprised. The system reveals its name, Curse of Darkness Gold, only Soul Reapers can learn it. He grips it with a confident smile. What good luck! A system message appears. The skill book is automatically registered in the player's memory. A golden beam crashes down. Congratulations to the player for obtaining an exclusive skill for Soul Reapers. The skill activates Curse of Darkness. Its effect is revealed deals 20% of the target's HP as damage, creates 20% HP lifesteal, costs 100 mana, and has a 10-second cooldown. He examines his glowing hand, realizing, so I can restore 20% of the undead's life points. A close-up shows his determined face and dark energy swirling in his palm. He presses the glowing hand onto a fallen ally, triggering a healing effect as their life bar begins to rise. Stepping forward confidently, he aims his spell and says, "Let's try," as a blue blast surges forward. His blue energy blast hits the fallen scorpion beast, healing it instantly with glowing rings. The beast roars as its life points jump to 80%, fully revived and ready to fight. He calmly says, "The warm-up is over. Time to head to the main city and search for that first subordinate." As he turns to leave, a dark, shadowy hand suddenly grabs his shoulder from behind. He pauses, eyes widening in suspicion, whispering, "Wait, could it be?" Suddenly, a loading screen appears as if he's about to log out. In the real world, his mother calls out, "Yuan, your father just hurt his back. Come and help him." Yuan quickly rushes to support his father, saying, "Dad, take it easy." His mother scolds his father. "Why act so recklessly at your age? You should have called a repairman." His father chuckles. "We have to save what we can. I fixed the washing machine last week too, didn't?" Brushing it off, he says, "It's a minor injury. I'll be fine after a nap. I have to pick up Xiao Tan tomorrow." Yuan silently watches from the door, eyes heavy with thought. The next day begins peacefully in the city. Yuan's parents are resting when his father starts coughing in his sleep. Startled, his mother asks, "Yuan, why are you making noise so early in the morning?" They step into the living room, and our stunned delivery workers are installing a brand new TV. Delivery workers inform the stunned parents that Mr. Lin Huan purchased and installed all the new items. The father is overwhelmed, confused if he's dreaming. Meanwhile, the boy trains hard at the gym, his physique drawing attention from everyone around. While on the treadmill, he politely says, "Sorry for the disturbance." A gym staff member offers a VIP package, requiring a full year's payment in advance. He hands over his bank card without hesitation, thinking how he sold unneeded gear, renovated the house, and got a family gym membership. He plans ahead, believing his parents and Xiao Tan must train early to better adapt when they reach the immortality stage. The staff girl blushes, impressed by his stamina and athletic physique. The gym employee is stunned as she examines the bank card he handed over. She realizes it's a premium VIP card only issued to those with over 5 million in their account. While calmly taking a call, he explains it's prize money from an old video game tournament and tells his parents to relax, he'll handle Xiao Tan. Impressed, the woman silently admires him, amazed at how young yet extraordinary he is. As school ends, excited students rush out to hang out, some heading to an internet cafe. Lin Tan walks out gracefully, catching everyone's attention. She tells her friends it's her birthday, and her brother got her a strawberry cake. Her friends admire her luck and wish they had such a caring brother too. Lin Tan quietly questions why having a brother is seen as something to be jealous of. Her brother is shown gaming cheerfully, unaware of her feelings. She clenches her fist and storms off, thinking, "I don't want a brother at all." A girl teases her for being arrogant, calling her school beauty Lin. A smug blonde guy says they've tried inviting someone many times through others. Lin Tan is surrounded by the group of boys as she demands to know what they're trying to do. Her classmates nervously ask who the guys are while Lin Tan remains tense. One of the boys leans in creepily, making a disgusting comment about her skin. Disgusted, Lin Tan forcefully shoves his hand away and yells at him not to touch her. Lin Tan warns the boys that she'll call the police if they harass her again. One of the thugs suddenly slaps her, yelling that she's shameless. Lin Tan falls to the ground in pain while her classmates cry out in shock. The thug mocks her, claiming she should feel honored just to be touched by him. Lin Tan shields herself on the ground, bracing for another hit. Suddenly, a strong hand grabs the attacker's wrist, stopping the punch. Lin Tan, teary-eyed, looks up in shock as her attacker is pulled back. Her brother appears with glowing red eyes, furiously asking, "Who allowed you to bully my sister?" Lin Tan looks stunned and softly calls out, "Lin Yuan?" As her brother steps forward, one of the thugs mocks him, calling him a stray dog, and prepares to attack. The gang charges in together, shouting threats and aiming to break his arms. But Lin Yuan moves first, landing a brutal strike that sends one of them flying with blood spraying. Lin Yuan slams his knee into a thug's chin, launching him into the air with brutal force. Without pause, he spins and lands a crushing kick to another thug's side, knocking him off his feet. One of the attackers gets stomped into the ground as blood flies. Lin Yuan doesn't hold back, towering over them. Lin Yuan finishes by smashing the last guy's face into the floor, shattering the ground beneath. Lin Yuan stands tall over the defeated bullies as stunned students watch in silence. He turns and calmly says, "Let's go," while his sister follows him, still in shock. As they walk, she asks why he came today, thinking he only plays games all day. Lin Yuan answers simply Dad hurt his back, and Mom's busy, so he came to get her. She asks if their dad's injury is serious, and Lin Yuan replies, "Not really," staying calm. They walk in silence, both feeling the awkwardness of the moment. She thinks to herself how long it's been since they talked like this. It feels strange. Lin Yuan walks ahead quietly, the wind brushing past as he remains lost in thought. As they walk through school, her friends rush over, calling out to her excitedly. They gush over how kind and handsome her brother is, shocked she never mentioned him before. She looks at him in disbelief, thinking, "Handsome? This guy?" Meanwhile, other girls admire him from afar, wondering if he's a visiting graduate. He stands out from everyone. As he walks away, girls whisper about his unexpected popularity, while his sister is confused by how tall and confident he looks now. A pink-haired girl nervously greets him, surprised by his height and presence. More students whisper he's got muscles now. No wonder he fought so well earlier. In a different scene, someone watches him in disguise, confirming that despite appearances, it's definitely the same person. At home, he lazily sits surrounded by snacks and games, looking like his usual self. Meanwhile, his sister stares ahead, confused by his transformation. After saying goodbye to her friends, she's suddenly puzzled seeing him approach. He casually tells her to get up, hinting at giving her a piggyback ride. While some girls watch in awe, she hesitates, clearly flustered. Embarrassed, she declines, thinking she doesn't want to be carried like that in public. She gasps in shock as he suddenly moves toward her. Without waiting, he lifts her onto his back, ignoring her protests. Calmly, he tells her not to push herself since the others have already left. Pointing to her bruised ankle, he explains he saw her fall earlier and knew she was hurt. She's surprised and wonders how he even noticed her injury. As he carries her home, she hesitantly calls out to their parents. Their parents silently stare, clearly taken aback by the scene. While her parents watch, he sets her down gently and says it feels good to be home. He washes the dishes quietly, surprising everyone with his effort. His mom praises him for cooking, cleaning, and even fixing appliances. She nervously sips her drink, replying vaguely while observing him. Watching in silence, she wonders if he's truly changed or just pretending. After cleaning up, he calmly says he's finished. He removes his apron and tells them he's going to his room. She watches him leave, still holding her drink silently. Her expression hardens. She reminds herself he's still just a gaming nerd. She's startled when he suddenly hands her a bottle of ointment. He instructs her to apply it after bathing, showing genuine care. As he walks away, he casually tells her not to disturb him unless it's urgent. She stares at the bottle in her hands, visibly affected by the gesture. She accepts the ointment and mutters that no one wants to enter his room anyway. She quietly smiles while holding the bottle, her feelings slightly softening. Their mom happily points out the improved relationship, but she avoids details. Meanwhile, he relaxes in his chair, relieved that the family tension may finally ease. He leans back in his chair, preparing for his next move. With a determined look, he puts on his VR helmet and says he's returning to the game. In the virtual world, he descends into Sand Breeze City with a powerful entrance. Now cloaked, he commands his allies to go and catch their target. As he lands dramatically in Sand Breeze City, chaos surrounds the town square. A man is harshly thrown to the ground, crying out that it's a misunderstanding. The guard shows no mercy, pinning him down and yelling for him to confess. Watching from the shadows, the cloaked boy observes the unfair treatment silently. A guard notices movement and turns sharply, eyes wide with suspicion. He mutters to himself, doubting whether he actually saw anything. Meanwhile, the cloaked boy silently watches from the alley as the patrol drags the accused away. He calculates internally, the patrols detect sin, and it'll take 3 days for his own value to reset. Standing tall on a sunlit platform, the cloaked boy gazes at the cityscape. The grand church stands tall, glowing under the holy light. Godfather Lawrence begins a baptism, declaring divine cleansing over a kneeling man. The cloaked boy introduces himself as being from Ranai Workhouse. The older man's expression shifts subtly, clearly surprised by the boy's origin. The hooded boy arrives at the church, claiming he came to cure a seriously ill man. A door closes as someone entrusts Mr. Douglas to Lawrence's care. Douglas, now bedridden, was once a powerful knight of the Scorpion's Tail knighthood. The boy recalls that in his past life, Douglas helped him obtain a golden grade weapon after reaching level 15. The boy tells Douglas that he came to cure the poison in his body. Douglas, weakened and skeptical, looks up at him with doubt. The boy's level is revealed to be just level 10. Douglas scoffs at his low level, saying even street guards are stronger than him. Douglas coughs blood as the boy warns that the poison is corroding his organs. He coldly tells Douglas he won't survive longer than a month without treatment. Douglas scoffs, saying only 1 kilogram of rotten mackerel oil from Mud Gobai can cure him. A system prompt appears, offering a golden mission to retrieve the rare cure. The boy accepts the mission with a confident smile, ready for the challenge. He arrives at the dangerous Mud Gobai, a swamp filled with lurking threats. The rotten mackerels emerge, slithering toward him with glowing red eyes. One massive elite mackerel appears, stats revealed level 15, 3,500 GP, and launches a fierce attack. A blonde warrior leads the charge, shouting for his team to attack the beasts head-on. He slashes fiercely, landing a direct hit on one of the mackerels with all his might. Despite his efforts, the beast's power overwhelms them, and screams erupt as chaos unfolds. Surrounded in the muddy waters, a frightened teammate begs for help. Trapped by monstrous fish, one of the elite mackerels activates its deadly skill, Tail Whip, slashing through the mud with immense power. The beast roars ferociously, opening its jaws as it lunges at the fighters. The blonde warrior braces himself, sword raised high, ready to strike back. But another monstrous fish opens its maw wide, preparing to devour its next target hole. The blonde warrior panics, believing he's moments from death. Suddenly, the black-haired protagonist swoops down, eyes glowing red, intercepting the danger. He grabs the warrior mid-air, rescuing him from certain doom. Meanwhile, another ally with green energy shouts, "Get out of the way," while launching a powerful attack. The black and green-haired mage strikes with a powerful green energy blast, catching the serpent off guard. A massive green explosion follows, engulfing the monster. He lands smoothly, shielding the blonde warrior behind him with a confident expression. The blonde warrior, catching his breath, realizes he was saved and questions it aloud. As he glances around in shock, he tries to make sense of what just happened. He looks up and sees the cloaked man rising through a swirl of green energy, calling him a savior. The cloaked figure vanishes into the sky, leaving behind a trail of green light as the stunned warrior watches in awe. A giant fish monster bursts out of the mud, charging toward the cloaked figure from behind. More creatures emerge with a roar as the cloaked man stands ready, unaware of the attack closing in. The blonde knight notices the ambush and yells for the savior to watch out. The monster strikes fast, crashing toward its target with powerful force. The cloaked man blocks the monster's strike, mocking it with a confident remark. He jumps high into the air, charging energy around him as he prepares to counter. His foot lands firmly, locking into position for a powerful follow-up. Grabbing his glowing weapon mid-air, he channels power for the next attack. The black-haired warrior grips his weapon, stating that even grouped-up small fish are still just fish. With a sweeping strike, he slashes through the monster horde, tearing several apart at once. Observing from a distance, one man is shocked that 8 of them were nearly killed by just one attack. Another admits the attacker is strong but doubts he can kill a mackerel-type monster alone. The blonde warrior realizes the threat lies in the monster's group coordination, which is their most dangerous trait. The fish-like monsters growl in unison, surging forward with glowing energy building up around them. The black-haired warrior watches the tide of green energy rise as the enemies begin their coordinated attack. Calmly, he reacts with slight intrigue and simply says, "Oh." The monsters activate their group skill, Dead Curse, which affects the enemy's spirit power, pulling them into an illusionary death state. The black-haired man resists the illusion with resolve, stating that he won't be tricked again in this life. He summons his giant zombie wolf and commands it to unleash a skill called Howl of the Hungry Wolf. The powerful howl creates a shockwave that stuns the rotten mackerels mid-attack. Seeing his opportunity, he prepares his next move, saying, "Now," while activating another skill interface. The black-haired man equips a killer mask item, which grants him gas immunity for a single use. He leaps forward, drawing his weapon and charging at the enemies with precision. While descending at high speed, he declares that they should lay down and accept death. His blade lands a devastating blow, striking one of the rotten mackerels directly and dealing a critical hit. The masked man slashes down fiercely, scoring another critical hit as he shouts for the enemies to die. He follows up with a direct plunge into a monster's open mouth, landing a powerful strike from above. Multiple critical hits land as the beasts recoil in pain, their mouths wide in agony. One of the fish monsters is hurled back with such force that it crashes deep into the rocky ground. Gripping his glowing axe, the man mocks the enemy for being too slow and calls it an insect that belongs in the mud. As he leaps down, the enemy snarls in frustration, screaming for the man to rot in the mud forever. The axe is hurled with great force, spinning through the air like a comet. It lands with explosive impact, shaking the ground and ending the fight with a crushing finish. While one of the men praises the attack as impressive, the other warns it's too early to relax. A new threat appears as another wave of mackerel monsters rises from the ground. The masked man calmly summons his next undead, commanding the Thunder Zombie Scorpion to engage. The Scorpion activates its skill, Crystal Thunder, charging up with intense electric energy. The Thunder Zombie Scorpion releases its ultimate move, unleashing a surge of glowing purple energy across the battlefield. The attack triggers a massive eruption that engulfs the mackerel swarm in deadly energy spikes. The spikes pierce through the enemies with precision and force, showing the devastating power of the skill. One of the mackerel monsters roars in agony, its mouth wide open as the explosion overwhelms it completely. A panicked soldier shouts that the attack didn't work as expected. He explains that the enemy's numbers and levels are too overwhelming for them to be taken out in one strike. A figure crashes down with force, landing in the center of the group. As the dust clears, he confidently responds, asking who said he intended to kill them all. He lifts his hood, revealing determined red eyes behind his gas mask, ready to execute the next phase of his plan. A man suddenly realizes something odd. He points out that the scorpion's attack is targeting the stomachs of all the female mackerels. Another observes that the male mackerels are behaving strangely and seems shocked by what he's witnessing. A surprised shout confirms the confusion. The male mackerels have begun attacking one another. As the chaos escalates, the male mackerels roar and lash out, driven into frenzy by the scent of female organs, turning the swarm into violent disorder. Purple liquid pours out of the wounded female mackerels, creating a scent that intensifies the frenzy. A close-up shows a male mackerel in a frenzy, its eyes glowing red as it becomes violently aggressive. The masked man reveals his strategy. He exploited the male mackerel's nature to make them slaughter each other. The battlefield begins to quiet as the last mackerel collapses with a squelching sound, the plan executed flawlessly. A giant mackerel charges at the masked man while someone warns him to watch out. The beast leaps through the air, aiming to attack, but the masked man stands his ground. The armored man questions why this female mackerel is the same size as a male, surprised by its abnormality. The masked man glances toward the creature and calmly says he arrived just in time. The masked man summons his zombie ghost wolves to launch an assault. The wolves leap and bite into the monster, but it barely flinches. He observes the creature from above and notes it's a level 15 elite monster. Despite sending 6 zombie wolves, the attack causes no damage, and the beast roars back at him. The masked man declares that even if his attack didn't harm the monster, it's enough to immobilize it. One of the zombie wolves leaps up and pins the monster as the masked man charges in. He slashes deep into the monster's weak spot, yelling that this is how it's done. He then reaches into its body and pulls something out from the cluster of purple orbs. The masked man stands over the defeated monster's exposed belly, which is filled with purple orbs. The others gather and watch, wondering what he's trying to do. One of the zombie wolves grabs the monster's head as the masked man instructs everyone to move to the rock in the center. A powerful movement launches them swiftly toward their new position. The zombie wolf drops the purple orb bait into a pit as directed. With a loud roar, it activates the trap and slams the ground. Purple mist spreads from the fallen monster's body as the command to lure the others is issued. From a high vantage point, the cloaked man watches as nearby monsters begin responding to the lure. The purple mist spreads as the monsters are lured in by the egg scent, causing them to gather aggressively. One by one, they collide and knock themselves out due to the overwhelming pheromones. The group observes that the swarm has become disoriented and is incapacitating itself. The blonde warrior realizes the strategy. The enemy used pheromones from mackerel eggs to send the male monsters into chaos. The hooded man realizes the current power isn't sufficient and prepares to summon more forces. With a commanding gesture, he gives the order to launch the next phase. In response, large muscular beast men holding pickaxes appear through a magical portal. As more mackerels approach, the beast men receive the command to attack. The pickaxe-wielding creatures immediately charge forward to strike the fish. One of the knights questions if the blue venom sac is located inside the male mackerels. The masked man confirms it and explains that the venom works like chilies, releasing a toxic smell that alerts other fish to danger. The mackerels growl and begin to panic as the toxic reaction spreads in the water. One member explains that the fish won't stay near the toxin within 5 meters, and they're not immune to their own venom, which will leave them defenseless. The knight cheers as the swarm finally retreats and confirms they're all gone. The masked man charges forward confidently, declaring it's time to collect the pheromones. One of the knights praises him for clearing an entire zone solo and even jokingly says he wishes to be an accessory on his leg. As the team watches, the masked man swiftly finishes off the remaining monsters in quick strikes. He lands back on the ground after the final blow, drawing everyone's attention. A system message appears confirming he has gained 12,000 exp and leveled up to 11. Standing over the defeated enemies, the masked man reflects that his past life's experience allows him to speedrun this area. He puts on a mask, noting that it's crucial for the upcoming battle. He purchases a valuable item using 5 gold coins and lifts it up, saying that although it's costly, it's still worth it. A system screen identifies the item as rotten mackerel fish oil, effective for healing poison and rot-type injuries by regenerating necrotic tissues. The protagonist recalls something he had forgotten and pulls out a red ball. He holds the item in his hand, examining it. A system screen identifies it as Clown's Nose Silver, a protection item made from rotten mackerel's skin that releases fear-inducing hormones affecting small and medium aquatic creatures. He silently stares at the item in his hand, expression unreadable. He mocks the item's absurdity, questioning if the game designers made it as a joke or if the rewards justify it. The blonde guy gets excited, praising the item for lighting up. He becomes even more thrilled as the nosepiece starts moving, completely fascinated. The main character, surprised, asks if he seriously likes the nosepiece. The blonde guy gets excited and offers to buy the nosepiece, claiming any price is fine. His teammate apologizes for his behavior, saying he's always like this. The main character casually tosses the item to him, saying it's his now. When the blonde insists on paying, he calmly refuses, saying there's no need. After giving away the nosepiece for free, the main character is seen with glowing angelic wings. The blonde guy tears up, calling him a savior and angel, while others are stunned someone would give that up so easily. The scene shifts to a church entrance, indicating a new location. Inside, a green potion is poured onto a patient's body, beginning the healing process. The wounded man is shocked as the green healing potion visibly heals his chest. Sitting beside another patient, the main character is told he didn't expect all the required items to be collected. The system confirms the quest completion, and the protagonist draws out a glowing weapon, stating it was golden in his past life. He examines the green soul blade, noting its basic stats seem average, but its soul curse and hidden effect are very useful in battle. He explains the weapon's curse. Each hit stacks the green soul curse, and at 3 stacks, it deals 250% additional mental damage. He recalls how this sword helped him become a top player in his past life. After examining the blade, he receives reputation rewards for both the main city area and the Scorpion Tail Knighthood. Though still considered neutral-like in his past life, this reputation is enough for him to freely move through the main city. He notices there's an additional reward and is surprised to see more benefits. A new message confirms that he gained +10 affinity with Douglas due to his outstanding performance. Douglas thanks him sincerely, saying he would have died next month if not for his help. He replies calmly. As a token of gratitude, Douglas offers to share something important and personal with him. He realizes that the extra +10 affinity bonus triggered a hidden mission. Douglas warns him seriously if he ever encounters someone named Quincy. He must stay far away from him without question. When he reveals that Quincy is his teacher, Douglas is shocked and demands clarification. Douglas is stunned and repeats the question, unable to believe it. He then points out that although the boy has hidden his class, he knows the truth he's a necromancer. He questions how Douglas knows his class, since even Quincy shouldn't be able to detect it after he hid his profile. Douglas explains that he used to be a knight in the Scorpion Tail Knighthood and learned a special skill called Darkness Perception, meant for hunting necromancers. He reveals that this skill is unique to the knighthood and detects necromancers the moment they appear. The skill activates automatically, and the closer the necromancer is, the stronger the signal becomes. He asks if Douglas had already known his identity, but Douglas explains he was poisoned and couldn't sense clearly until now. Now that he's cured, he can feel the unmistakable presence of the Lord of Darkness emanating from him. The boy questions what he means by Lord of Darkness. Douglas replies that to explain that, he'll need to go far back into the past. Douglas explains that in the immortal world, there are 5 known gods: the god of light, moon shadow, nature, tide, and soul. However, he reveals there was originally a 6th god, the Lord of Darkness. This god, also called the King of Undead, was the strongest among them and acted as he pleased due to his immense power. He granted great dark powers to his most devoted followers, further increasing his influence. The Lord of Darkness converted his followers into necromancers, forcing them to obey him and spreading deadly plagues that wiped out millions. These necromancers turned the dead into zombies, unleashing chaos and causing massive disasters everywhere. In response, nations united to erase the Lord of Darkness from history temples were destroyed and all written records were burned. Now, if a necromancer is discovered, they are executed instantly without question. The necromancer class was banned by all nations and labeled as a forbidden class. The man explains he was poisoned by a necromancer and suffered for 10 years, believing he had no future until the protagonist appeared. Lin Yuan checks his profile. He's a level 11 necromancer with the forbidden class, possessing the rare dark summon talent. He reflects on his past life as a mere mage and now understands why necromancer is forbidden. He's been hiding his profile ever since. Lin Yuan realizes things are getting complicated. He had hoped solving the sin value issue would let him explore the main city safely. But now he's worried if he doesn't find a way to suppress the aura of the Dark Lord, his necromancer class could be revealed at any time. He asks Douglas if there's a way to avoid being detected by the Scorpion Tail Knighthood's darkness perception. Douglas says only Quincy could help, but if Quincy learns his true identity, he'll definitely try to kill him. Douglas warns Lin Yuan to stay away from Quincy, revealing that a necromancer was responsible for killing Quincy's wife. Lin Yuan remains silent, processing the situation with a serious expression. The scene shifts to the gravel desert, where Lin Yuan is seen walking alone through the sunlit sand. A system message confirms his return to the gravel desert, noting that this moment occurred 10 minutes earlier. Douglas panics, calling Lin Yuan crazy for planning to meet Quincy, who despises necromancers and would gladly kill them. Lin Yuan calmly says he has no other choice, showing no hesitation. He acknowledges the danger of carrying the Dark Lord's presence, knowing he can't move freely unless he resolves the issue. Determined to face it head-on, Lin Yuan heads off, triggering a sudden, powerful energy burst. As Lin Yuan moves through the desert, he suddenly senses something unusual and turns his head. A barrage of energy attacks crash down beside him, catching him off guard. He quickly recovers his stance, landing sharply and preparing for a counter. Looking up, he spots a group of enemies charging toward him from the ridge. A group of enemies appears on the cliffs, and one of them reveals he had been waiting days to catch Lin Yuan. He admits Lin Yuan ambushed him last time, but now he's brought 30 men to even the score. Another enemy steps forward, tauntingly saying they'll see how Lin Yuan dies this time. A grinning man with glowing eyes mockingly tells Lin Yuan to scream louder when his head hits the ground. In the desert, people were surrounded by large flying insects, one of which streamed the scene live. A phone alert announced the Bloodstained Guild was streaming, catching the attention of passengers on a busy train. The host appeared, saying today's show would demonstrate splitting a person into pieces. Viewer count rose quickly as more tuned in to watch. In a gaming room, a group noticed the Bloodstained Guild starting another newbie-crushing livestream. People outside reacted to the news, shocked that 30 players were ganging up on one person, wondering who the unlucky target was. In another location, a group watching the stream recognized the target, commenting that he looked familiar and was handsome, though it was a shame he would die soon. Facing his opponents, the man said they were barely enough for a warm-up and that he would just kill them again, surprising viewers with his boldness and making some find him cool despite the danger. A man in armor shouted for his group to kill the target. Armed attackers charged forward, weapons ready. One fighter unleashed a surge of blue lightning from his hand. Another readied his bow, aiming a glowing arrow and shouting for the target to die. Several enemies leapt at the target with weapons ready. A system prompt confirmed a malicious attack, granting him 15 minutes to fight back without increasing his sin value. He smirked, saying 15 minutes was enough to kill them 3 times. Calling out his zombie army, undead warriors emerged with a roar, ready to attack. An enemy mocked the attack, calling it a small spark unworthy of being called thunder. The Thunder Scorpion zombie struck back, poisoning its target. Their leader ordered all members to fall back, shield warriors to form up, mages to attack, and bandits and archers to open fire. The group quickly assembled into a shield formation, ready to counter. Lightning struck the ground, creating a powerful impact. Mages activated their magic circles, shouting to enhance the attack. A robed figure gathered a massive sphere of crackling purple energy. Leaping forward, he released the attack with a scream, sending destructive lightning toward his target. Lightning struck the zombies, while archers prepared their next attack. The archers released glowing arrows on the command to fire. The arrows struck the summoned creatures, dealing heavy damage. Viewer count dropped as people commented that the summons were easy kills for an elite team, some leaving, others betting on how long the target could last. 2 enemies mocked his summons, claiming even a large one would be cut down, and threatened to kill him today. He replied calmly, asking if that was so, his face shadowed but confident. One enemy noticed he was smiling, feeling uneasy. Viewers online suddenly reacted with shock, asking what they were seeing. He stepped forward, triggering a sudden burst of force. Nearby mages were caught off guard, stumbling back in shock. A swirling vortex pulled them in, and one cried out for help. Elsewhere, armed warriors held their ground, preparing for the next move. A hooded figure was startled as chaos erupted around him. In an instant, green-skinned beasts struck, forcing enemies to shout for a retreat. The beasts attacked ferociously, with soldiers screaming for help. 2 leaders looked on in shock, unable to believe what was happening. Viewer numbers surged as people reacted in shock, noting the zombies' teamwork and mocking earlier claims that he was a newbie. One man warned his allies that the wounds were poisoned and must be cleansed before healing. The warning came too late as more enemies were struck by a swirling green attack. The black-haired man stood calmly, controlling the power in his hands. The black-haired man focused, sensing something hidden. He struck swiftly with his weapon, revealing a concealed enemy. The enemy, caught in his attack, demanded to know how he had been discovered. He replied that he wasn't foolish enough to hide in the sand, striking down his opponent. On the battlefield, enemies panicked, saying he was too strong and that all their tanks were dead, urging each other to run. The blonde warrior tightened his grip on his sword, fury in his eyes. Cursing his fallen comrades as worthless trash, his rage intensified. He leapt forward, declaring he would kill the black-haired man himself. The black-haired man looked calm and focused as he prepared his next move. He swung his weapon, unleashing a swirling wave of energy. Dark, ghostly skulls emerged from the attack as he challenged his opponent to face it. The spectral skulls roared forward, aiming straight for their target. The blonde man's eyes widened in shock as ghostly skulls closed in on him. Realizing the danger, he could barely react. The black-haired man commanded, "Execute," as his attack surged forward. A powerful step marked the beginning of the deadly strike. He stepped forward with power surging beneath his feet. The blonde man's expression shifted, a drop of sweat rolling down as he realized the danger. The black-haired man remained calm, slightly smiling in confidence. A massive explosion erupted, sending the blonde man flying with a scream of pain. The black-haired man remarked that his trusted weapon was best kept in hand. Viewer numbers spiked as the chat mocked the fallen blonde warrior, joking about his failed threats before the system announced his exit from the stream. Elsewhere, a man screamed for help as enemies closed in. Another man watched in disbelief, wondering if he was hallucinating. Amid the battlefield, he stood still, surrounded by fallen enemies. One man felt as if he were facing a demon from hell. The black-haired man glanced back with a cold, piercing look. Terrified, his opponent raised his weapon while begging for his life. The black-haired man stood over a defeated foe, his weapon embedded in the ground. Facing the last opponent, he calmly said, "Now." The man's head was pierced by energy, as he was told it was his turn to taste despair. With a powerful strike, the black-haired man sent him crashing into the ground, blood spraying from the wound. With blood dripping from his blade, he declared the fight was over. His eyes locked sharply onto something nearby. A mechanical insect hovered, still recording the scene. He prepared his energy, saying he had almost forgotten something. He released a burst of energy, finishing the battle. Looking around, he noted that the place was now quiet. In a skyscraper elsewhere, someone questioned why the big boss even destroyed the streaming bug. Another person recognized him, saying he was the powerful man who had killed the giant wolf. Messages revealed his location at the gravel desert and that the mercenary guild had sent him an S-class invitation. A man holding a glass of wine quietly muttered the name Lin Yuan. In Black Gravel Town, a cloaked figure sat slouched among barrels. The black-haired man pushed open a door, peering inside. The drunken man recognized him, muttering that it was him again. He refused to teach, saying he had enough money and felt too lazy today. The black-haired man said he wanted to talk, revealing his profession. His status showed Player Lin Yuan, level 11, Forbidden Necromancer, Dark Summon Talent, with high mental power and active Hell's Gate. A cup shattered violently on the floor. The drunken man's expression turned serious. The room shook as barrels and cups were knocked over. The bearded man clenched his teeth, wondering how many years it had been. Lightning sparked in his hand as he repeated the word necromancer. With glowing blue eyes, he roared that a necromancer dared to appear before him. Shards of blue energy shattered through the air as an attack struck. The force broke through instantly, scattering debris. The bearded man was shocked by the incredible speed, exclaiming in disbelief. He turned quickly, trying to follow the swift movement closing in on him. The cloaked man was slammed into the wall by a powerful strike. With a blade pointed at his face, he was asked if they could finally talk. Keeping his weapon aimed, the black-haired man demanded to know what he wanted. Letting out a sigh, the bearded man agreed to give a hint as payback before allowing him to leave. After a deadly battle, the necromancer was killed. However, when his wife tried to heal the wounded, she was cursed by him. The curse corrupted her soul, erasing her memories and turning her into a monster that could never reincarnate. To save her, the only way was to completely vanquish her corrupted soul. But after the battle, Quincy was left so weakened that he could no longer even hold a sword. Everyone believed Quincy would spend the rest of his life in sorrow, until one day he issued a dangerous mission. He promised that anyone who could save his wife would receive all his fortune. Quincy planned to use this reward as bait, saving his wife, while also making the remaining necromancers pay. The necromancer who succeeded would also obtain a rare treasure, the method to crack Dark Sensei, which Quincy had taken from a dead necromancer. The man is confronted and asked to explain his mission. Quincy smirks, saying since he was asked directly and has been waiting for someone, he will share the details. He tells him to play a game with his dear wife. A mission notification appears, wife's dead soul. The goal is to liberate Quincy's wife and lay her soul to rest within 10 days. Graded as a silver mission. He agrees to take on the mission. Quincy wishes him luck, saying he might be able to complete it. With a sly grin, Quincy warns him to come back alive if he can. The scene shifts to Black Gravel Town's north side, at the Memorial for the Dead. He walks through the dim corridor of the Memorial for the Dead, activating a night vision potion. His eyes glow with sharp focus. He spots green-lit monsters ahead, guarding the path. Observing the area, he notes that the memorial has 5 floors where all of Black Gravel Town's dead NPCs are buried. A zombie bursts out of a coffin, roaring aggressively. He swiftly strikes, killing the zombie in one blow. He notes that undead like zombies, skeletons, and ghosts may appear, with their levels increasing on each floor. The first floor has level 1-3 zombies, while the second floor contains level 4-6 skeletons. The third floor contains level 7-9 ghosts. The fourth floor holds even more danger. A massive creature lurks there. It is a level 10 ghoul. A glowing blue portal opens ahead, guarded by 2 torch-bearing figures. He walks directly toward it without hesitation. The scene opens inside a dark stone building. The atmosphere is silent, with faint echoes bouncing off the tall pillars and archways. Shadows stretch across the ancient walls, giving the place a heavy and unsettling feeling. The location is revealed as the Mourner's Sanctum 4th level, a mysterious area filled with eerie silence. A young man with black hair and sharp red eyes appears. His expression is calm but serious, as if he is preparing for something important inside this place. As he moved cautiously, he sensed a strange noise coming from the shadows. When he looked down, dozens of glowing red eyes stared back at him from the darkness. From the depths, monstrous creatures with horns and muscular bodies began climbing the walls, their glowing eyes fixed on him as one activated the skill wall running. More of the creatures appeared, unleashing another skill called Suspended Rend, moving swiftly and dangerously closer. The scene revealed a swarm of enemies identified as Garmu, level 10, each possessing powerful abilities such as Corrupting Venom Bite. They surrounded the area, preparing to strike at him all at once. With a sharp command, he ordered an attack, his eyes glowing with determination as the battle erupted. A massive creature roared in response, activating the skill Earthbreaker Piercer, its energy surging violently. The beast's deadly claw gleamed with power as it lunged forward, its movements fast and precise. The enormous scorpion-like monster swung its massive stinger with crushing force, shaking the battlefield as the clash intensified. He launched forward with deadly intent, shouting for the creatures to die as his weapon glowed with fierce energy. His strike cut through the air, unleashing a powerful slash that crashed into the swarm of monsters. The impact tore through their bodies, scattering them apart with overwhelming force. One of the creatures, badly wounded, struggled on the ground with glowing red eyes still burning, refusing to submit as he stood above it. After finishing off the last enemy, he muttered that he had almost missed his target, standing tall among the defeated monsters. A notification appeared, confirming his level up to 129, showing how quickly his power was growing. Looking calm and slightly amused, he remarked that the battle ended faster than he expected. As green flames rose, he reflected on his ability, noting that dark summoning could only control corpses and had no effect on wandering spirit. Behind him, summoned creatures stood ready for his command. Just as he finished his summoning, strange purple patterns lit up the ground, radiating an ominous energy. He turned sharply, eyes widening in surprise, sensing something was terribly wrong. A sudden surge of violent power burst forth, erupting from the magical circle beneath him. Dark purple energy wrapped around his body with overwhelming force, leaving him shocked as he shouted in disbelief, unable to understand what was happening. Purple energy coiled tightly around him, and his face twisted in shock as he muttered in disbelief that this couldn't be happening. The violent force dragged his body downward, pulling him helplessly into a swirling abyss of light and darkness. The scene shifted to a silent stone chamber, lit by eerie blue flames, as if waiting for something to arrive. Suddenly, the purple vortex burst open inside the chamber, releasing a shadowy, overwhelming presence that marked the beginning of something far more dangerous. He was pulled deeper into the swirling purple energy, clutching his weapon tightly as the force consumed him. His eyes narrowed in unease, realizing he was being dragged into an unknown space beyond his control. Chains and glowing symbols appeared around him, reshaping the entire area. He muttered that everything had completely changed. At the center, a coffin-like structure opened, revealing a mysterious figure with horns and a dark robe. The figure let out a sinister laugh, filling the air with dread. The sinister figure smirked, whispering that she had been waiting for him all along. With a violent burst of energy, Chains shattered as her power surged through the chamber. She stepped forward, revealing herself as the vengeful corpse spirit, a powerful boss at level 18 with terrifying abilities like corpse bloom and art of corpse explosion. He steadied himself, realizing he had been dragged to the 5th floor, now facing an opponent far stronger than anything he had encountered before. The boss roared with fury, vowing to tear him to pieces as her aura flared violently. Their weapons clashed in a blinding exchange, each strike echoing with deadly intent. She unleashed her terrifying ability, activating the skill Corpse Bloom, filling the battlefield with dark energy. He responded with a powerful counterattack, his blade glowing brightly as he struck with unyielding force. The boss unleashed a devastating strike, dark energy tearing apart the battlefield as he braced himself against the impact. Amidst the rubble and shockwaves, he analyzed the attack, realizing its destructive power. He gripped his weapon tightly, preparing a counter with unwavering focus. With a confident voice, he declared that such attacks were useless against him, unleashing his own powerful technique to cut through the incoming assault. Dark energy clashed violently as he struck head-on against the monstrous boss, forcing her back with sheer power. His blade cut through the waves of corruption, glowing fiercely as he pressed the attack. The boss staggered, her body cracking with purple flames as the force of his strike overwhelmed her. She screamed in rage and agony, her roar echoing through the chamber as her form struggled to withstand the devastating blow. The boss screamed in rage, casting the terrifying skill Banshee's wail as purple energy spread violently across the battlefield. The ground and walls trembled, echoing with the oppressive force of her summoning ritual. He narrowed his eyes, realizing this was no ordinary attack. It was the beginning of a large-scale summoning. Suddenly, skeletal hands began crawling out from the darkness, signaling the arrival of an even greater threat. He gripped his glowing sword tightly, realizing the truth behind the summoning and muttering in shock. From the broken coffins, skeletal warriors began to rise, their eerie forms glowing with green flames. He quickly pieced it together. The ones buried here were the NPCs of Black Sand Town, along with all challengers who had previously failed Odin's quest. His eyes sharpened with anger as he shouted in frustration, realizing the boss intended to resurrect every last one of them. Skeletons screeched as they clawed their way out of the ground, their bodies glowing with eerie green flames. Bony hands scraped against stone, signaling the overwhelming number of enemies emerging from the depths. He narrowed his eyes, admitting there were far too many of them, and realizing he hadn't expected the boss to truly resurrect this pile of bones. Beastly figures and undead soldiers surged forward, filling the chamber. He shouted for all of his forces to come out, preparing for the massive fight ahead. He stood firm with his summoned beasts, ordering them to block the gates and hold back the incoming horde. The undead legion surged forward, striking with claws and weapons, serving as a shield against the enemy's advance. He knew they were only cannon fodder, but for now, they were enough to stall the overwhelming force that kept pouring in. Pointing ahead with authority, he commanded his army to enter a bloodlust state, preparing them to fight with unmatched ferocity. The kobold warriors howled fiercely, their bodies surging with power as they entered the bloodlust state. Their eyes glowed red with frenzy, swinging their weapons with unstoppable rage. He called out his strongest allies, the kobold leader and the crystal thunder scorpion, ready to turn the tide of battle. With a commanding shout, he ordered the attack, sending the massive scorpion charging toward the enemy with deadly force. The crystal thunder scorpion unleashed its deadly skill Death Strike, slamming its massive stinger into the ground with explosive force. The impact shattered the battlefield, sending shockwaves across the stone floor as debris flew everywhere. The walls cracked violently, glowing with the sheer force of the attack as the chamber trembled. The boss's expression shifted in shock and anger as she realized the overwhelming power he had brought to the fight. The battlefield shook violently as shards of energy erupted, filling the chamber with destructive force. From the chaos, the boss emerged with a sinister smile, her body glowing as dark green energy coiled around her. He looked on sharply, eyes widening in realization, sensing the overwhelming shift in her power. She explained that wandering spirits had now fused with her ghost-type monsters, boosting their resilience and cutting all physical damage in half, making her forces nearly unstoppable. He quickly analyzed the situation, realizing that while the fused monsters resisted physical damage, they were vulnerable to magic, taking double the damage from it. Dark spirits swirled around him as he prepared his counterstrike, channeling his energy into a powerful seal. With determination, he activated the Azure Soul Curse seal, unleashing its power to inflict direct damage on the boss. The boss reacted swiftly, her movements becoming faster and sharper as the chamber shook under the intensity of their clash. The battlefield grew more chaotic as summoned corpses clawed their way out, threatening to overwhelm the undead legion's defenses. He quickly assessed the situation, realizing that the defense line could collapse at any moment. The fight needed to end before that happened. Determined, he clenched his fist, deciding that the first step was to restrain the boss's movement. Electric energy surged around his hand, sparking with power as he prepared to unleash a binding strike. A system notification confirmed his equipment paralysis ring silver, granting him bonus stats along with a special effect to paralyze his target. Energy crackled around him as he charged forward, his aura surging with lightning. His lightning-charged fist struck the boss directly, purple sparks spreading across her body as the attack landed. A system message confirmed target hit. Paralysis poison activated, immobilizing her movements. Without hesitation, he raised his weapon high, declaring the fight wasn't over yet as his power surged even stronger. The chamber shook violently as his final blow descended, aiming to finish the corrupted spirit once and for all. His final strike smashed into the boss with overwhelming force, sending her body crashing violently into the ground. The impact shook the entire chamber as he landed firmly, his blade still glowing from the attack. Dust and debris filled the air while cracks spread across the battlefield, showing the scale of his devastating blow. Standing tall, he looked at the aftermath with a calm smile and muttered, "Excellent," marking his decisive victory. He smirked as the Azure Soul Curse seal weakened the boss, slowing her movements. Raising his hand, he unleashed the skill Evil Wolf's Howl. A spectral wolf roared with explosive force, its power shaking the chamber as the boss staggered and was stunned. He acknowledged the stun would only last 5 seconds, but that was all he needed to gain the upper hand. With his sword glowing fiercely, he prepared a relentless barrage, declaring he would see how many of his strikes she could endure. His furious barrage of strikes cut into the boss repeatedly, damage numbers flashing as her health dropped sharply. She clenched her teeth, trembling under the relentless assault, struggling to maintain her form. With a roar of pain, her body crackled with dark energy, showing she was far from finished. A chilling system alert appeared. The boss has activated the skill Corpse Explosion Art, forcing him to brace for her desperate counterattack. The boss's body erupted with violent purple energy, releasing a massive shockwave that tore through the battlefield. Dark mist and thunderous blasts spread in all directions, threatening to consume everything nearby. The explosion shook the dungeon halls, filling them with choking purple smoke as debris rained from above. Through the fading smoke, the remnants of the attack scattered green energy, rising as the battle's outcome loomed uncertain. He realized the boss's plan, using Corpse Explosion Art to detonate the NPC corpses and collapse the entire tomb chamber. The boss lamented the loss of her army, muttering bitterly as only a few corpses remained under her control. She knelt on the ground, exhausted and broken, staring up at him as he closed the distance. Calm and unwavering, he declared it was time to finish her off once and for all. He unleashed his final strike, commanding the enemy to vanish as waves of glowing energy cut through the battlefield. The attack pierced forward with unstoppable force, engulfing the boss in its deadly light. She screamed in despair, realizing too late that her end had come. System notifications appeared. Her HP dropped to 0, confirming her defeat. A final message declared victory, rewarding him with massive experience points for slaying the vengeful corpse spirit. As the dust settled, he firmly planted his foot on the ground, steady after the fierce battle. Looking at the fallen enemy, he questioned if it was truly over. His sharp eyes glowed with resolve, the lingering energy around him fading slowly. Suddenly, a spirit in the form of a woman appeared, softly thanking him for his bravery. The spirit's gentle smile lingered for a moment before her figure slowly dissolved into light. That light condensed into a single object, floating down into his hand. It was a ring described as the ethereal ring of love, an irreplaceable quest item, symbolizing the bond between a husband and wife. He stared at it silently, wondering if this simple ring was truly the only reward for defeating such a powerful boss. As the glow faded from his hand, another surge of dark energy erupted before him, forming a strange altar. He looked closer, confused, and muttered in surprise, trying to make sense of the sudden change. What appeared was an ancient mural, its surface cracked and scarred, depicting a massive, ominous figure bound within its seal. He discovers a mysterious skill book containing Corpse Explosion, a gold tier ability. Realization strikes that this powerful skill is exclusive only to necromancers. He wonders if the one who originally sealed this power was actually a loyal servant of the Lord of Darkness, connecting the skill's origins to a far greater force. The book glows brightly as the skill information is automatically logged into his memory. The overwhelming surge of knowledge begins to reshape his abilities. Bathed in radiant light, he fully awakens the power of Corpse Explosion. The system confirms the successful acquisition of this devastating necromancer exclusive skill. He reflects on the newly learned skill. Although it consumes his zombie, its wide range and destructive power make it a valuable surprise in his arsenal. The scene shifts to Black Gravel Town, a place bustling with life yet hiding untold stories within its walls. A cloaked man is startled when he sees a ring presented to him. He trembles, recognizing it instantly as the engagement ring he once gave away. Memories of a past love resurface. He realizes a sealed soul carries no memories, but once freed, it recalls everything and releases its most treasured item just like the ring in his hands. The cloaked man asks with trembling hope if his wife had suffered when she died. He is told she passed without pain, easing his heavy heart. He holds the glowing ring tightly, staring at it with tears in his eyes, the memories of his beloved flooding back. Overwhelmed with emotion, he whispers that it's a relief to know she didn't suffer, finally finding comfort in the truth. He admits he never expected help from a necromancer, the very kind he once despised. Grateful beyond words, he vows to remember this kindness forever. The cloaked man, keeping his word, presents a mysterious box. With a determined look, he declares it's time to fulfill his promise. Inside lies the Dark Crown, a unique necromancer's equipment. Its power allows the user to hide their sin value and cloak themselves in a darkness aura. He examines the crown carefully, noting that while it lacks additional stats, its ability to conceal his presence is exactly what he needs the most right now. Confident in its value, he thinks about moving freely in the city and even facing dangerous monsters without fear. The system then prompts him with a choice whether to equip the Dark Crown. He makes his choice without hesitation, firmly agreeing to equip the Dark Crown. Dark energy swirls around him as the crown merges with his presence, its power amplifying his aura. Clad in shadows, he feels stronger and more determined. He declares that he is now one step closer to uncovering the truth. The scene shifts, revealing the vast city of Sand Breeze, the next destination awaiting his journey. Sand Breeze City bustles with activity, its streets filled with merchants and adventurers. But beyond the noise lies the power struggle of its great unions. There are more than 10 major unions dominating the city. Berserk, Mirror Flowers and Water Moon, Stars, Him, Eternal, and the Black Tree Union among them. A cloaked figure wonders if the person he's seeking might be hiding within one of these powerful organizations. Meanwhile, he reflects on his own position. As a newcomer in Sand Breeze City, joining one of these mighty unions will not be easy. Amidst the crowded streets of Sand Breeze City, he realizes that if he wants to rise, he must create his own opportunity. His eyes scan the bustling plaza, watching carefully for the right moment to act. Calm and composed, he blends into the crowd, hiding his presence while planning his next move. Just then, a new figure steps forward, heavy footsteps echoing with authority, signaling the arrival of someone important. The blonde warrior suddenly senses danger, his body freezing as he realizes something is wrong. A cold blade presses against his neck from behind, stopping him in his tracks. Startled, he demands to know the identity of the one holding the weapon, fear flickering in his eyes. His voice trembles as he mutters, "Finally, the moment he had been dreading or perhaps expecting has come." The blonde warrior suddenly bursts out in excitement, calling the cloaked man by name, overjoyed to recognize him as God Yuan. But his enthusiasm is met with force as he's thrown down hard, crying out in pain. The cloaked man looks down in surprise, muttering in disbelief, asking if it's really him. Still sprawled on the ground, the blonde warrior beams with relief, happy that God Yuan still remembers him after all this time. He's caught off guard when the blonde warrior confidently calls his name, leaving him on high alert. The warrior explains with excitement that he saw a guild stream and immediately recognized him. A flashback shows how he dug through countless comments online, piecing together clues until he was certain of the truth. To confirm, he even spent a fortune upgrading the corporation's facial recognition system, now proudly asking for praise as he stands before him. He is stunned to learn that 2 million was spent just to track him down, finding it hard to believe. The blonde warrior casually explains that it's nothing compared to the Han Corporation, which spends hundreds of millions simply testing new systems. He recalls the Han Corporation's influence, a trillion-dollar tech giant that controls advanced technology across the world. This revelation makes him reconsider who he's dealing with. Gripping his sword tightly, he wonders if this man knows too much and questions whether he should kill him right here. The blonde warrior bounces with excitement, begging God Yuan to team up with him for an upcoming S-class hunt inside the Blood Scale Cave. He rambles about rumors of a rare iron-eating iguana's nest and insists they only need to join forces to claim it. Before he can finish, he's smacked down to the ground once again, silencing his eager plea. Coldly, Yuan tells him not to follow. Turning away, he mutters that there's no reason to be serious with such a fool. The blonde warrior forces a laugh, admitting that someone as strong as Yuan doesn't need a team, not when he could take on an entire guild alone. He sighs, mentioning that the Black Tree Guild's third team will also be scouting rookies during the upcoming hunt. If someone performs well, they might get chosen. Yuan silently notes the Black Tree Guild's presence, his thoughts lingering on their power among the city's top unions. Meanwhile, the blonde warrior slumps in defeat, realizing he'll have to test his luck alone after being rejected once again. The blonde warrior, still hopeful, asks directly when the upcoming hunt will take place. Yuan turns slightly, his calm demeanor catching the other off guard. He asks for the exact time of the hunt, his tone leaving no room for doubt. Overjoyed, the blonde warrior blurts out that it's tomorrow morning at 8, excitedly confirming that Yuan might actually join in. At last, he introduces himself, telling the blonde warrior to call him Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan adds that before setting off for the hunt, he still needs to make some preparations. The blonde warrior looks shocked, covering his mouth in disbelief at finally hearing his true name. Meanwhile, a chilling image of skulls foreshadows the darker path that lies ahead. At the Vulture Thief Band's campsite, the air is heavy with danger as their black flag sways in the wind. Without warning, explosions erupt, tearing through the area and throwing chaos into the camp. Amid the destruction, Lin Yuan advances with his summoned forces, noting that the enemy leader should be just ahead. A faint smile forms on his face, his calm presence cloaked in eerie green flames, signaling that he's ready for what's to come. The system reveals details of the enemy Vulture Thief Band zombies, level 12, armed with sickle throw and undead body skills, making them formidable opponents. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan commands his undead forces forward, his words sharp, "Let's go." He watches carefully from higher ground, his calm gaze fixed on the enemy camp as his army advances. Inside the camp, the vulture thieves stir restlessly, their shrill cries echoing as they sense the incoming threat. The vulture bandits shriek fiercely, weapons raised as the battle finally erupts. Lin Yuan doesn't hesitate, he thrusts his hand forward and commands his forces to charge. The undead rush into the fray, clashing violently with the winged enemies in a storm of blades and claws. The bandits activate their skill, sickle throw, unleashing spinning blades that cut through the air with deadly force. A deadly sickle blade hurtles straight toward Lin Yuan, its sharp edge tearing through the air. The impact smashes into the ground, shattering stone and sending debris flying in all directions. The vulture bandits are stunned, their eyes glowing red with shock as they realize their attack missed. In the next instant, Lin Yuan counterattacks, his blade slicing down with overwhelming force against his enemy. The bandit leader lunges forward, snarling that he'll take Lin Yuan's life, but his threat is cut short in an instant. With a decisive slash, Lin Yuan cuts him down, the system confirming the successful kill of the vulture thief band leader. He stands tall amidst the aftermath, cloak billowing as the defeated body collapses at his feet. For a moment, Lin Yuan pauses, his sharp gaze narrowing as he senses something unusual nearby. As the dust settles, Lin Yuan notices something strange. The enemy's throne has vanished into thin air. Suddenly, the real threat appears. The Vulture Thief Band Lord, a level 18 monster, emerges from the shadows, armed with deadly stealth and backstab skills. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan activates Corpse Explosion, lightning crackling through his hand as he prepares to unleash destruction. The Bandit Lord charges with a roar, his blades ready to kill, but Lin Yuan's undead surge forward, meeting the attack head-on. Lin Yuan's eyes flash with a deadly glow, a surge of power coursing through him as he unleashes his will. The ground trembles, green energy building rapidly until it bursts outward. The Vulture Thief Band Lord roars furiously, his body brimming with power as he prepares for a desperate strike. The ground cracks open as Lin Yuan launches himself forward, his body wrapped in blinding energy. He descends from above, eyes locked on his enemy, the sheer force of his attack leaving no room to escape. With a sharp glare and a surge of killing intent, he shouts, "Take this," as his blade comes crashing down. Lin Yuan activates his shadow gloves, energy surging into his fist as he prepares the final blow. With a fierce strike, he drives his attack straight into the vulture bandit lord, shouting for him to go to hell. The impact explodes with unstoppable force, shattering the battlefield and drowning his enemy in blinding light. As the dust clears, the system announces the bandit lord's defeat. Lin Yuan declares, "It's over," and receives his reward, leveling up to 13. Lin Yuan retrieves 2 powerful skill scrolls, Curse of Darkness and Corpse Explosion Art. The system prompts him to upgrade. He uses the scroll, instantly pushing Curse of Darkness to level 3 and enhancing Corpse Explosion Art as well. Analyzing calmly, he notes that the efficiency is impressive. Both offensive and explosive abilities have grown stronger. Finally, the system rewards him with control over 130 undead monsters. Lin Yuan concludes that this undead army is sufficient for now. After reviving the bandit vulture lord, Lin Yuan notices it has gained a new ability, Deadly Poison Hand, which inflicts additional poison damage. He recalls that the giant death wolf also received a new skill when revived, enhancing the critical strike rate of allies. This makes him realize a pattern. Reviving lord-level monsters seems to grant them an additional unique skill. With this discovery, Lin Yuan reflects calmly, finding this revelation both powerful and intriguing. A system message announces that the hunting campaign will officially begin in 2 hours. Hearing this, he stays calm and prepares himself for what's to come. He decides it's time to get ready and sets out with determination. Soon, he arrives at the Bloodscale Cave, the site where the upcoming hunt will take place. He looks at his companion with confusion, asking what exactly he is wearing. The sight makes him wonder if the man is disguised as a golden knight statue. Proudly, the man explains he spent 50 gold coins to have a master blacksmith craft special armor, assuring he won't be a burden today. But before he can finish showing off, he stumbles clumsily, ruining his dramatic entrance. He stares silently at the flashy display, clearly unsure of what to say. With an awkward pause, he holds back his reaction, watching the exaggerated pose. Finally, he remarks that it's his first time seeing such segmented armor, calling it unique. Embarrassed but trying to stay confident, the other man claims that the blacksmith told him it's the latest style. The man in golden armor struggles as his helmet blocks his vision, panicking that he can't see the road. He clings desperately to Yuan, begging to be saved, while Yuan stays silent, clearly unimpressed. Unable to control himself, the armored man stumbles forward with a loud wail. He crashes clumsily into Yuan, adding to the awkward chaos. The Golden Knight's helmet suddenly cracks, startling him. He looks up in confusion, unsure of what just happened. A towering figure looms over him, casting a heavy shadow. The bald man smirks, asking if he's alright, revealing himself as Zhao Qi, 3rd team captain of the Black Tree Guild, a level 115 warrior. A knight nervously smiles as he senses a terrifying aura behind him, feeling as if a deadly beast is glaring straight at him. Suddenly, someone grabs the back of his armor, startling him. The cloaked man beside him tells him to remove the heavy armor, calling it unnecessary. The knight laughs awkwardly, agreeing. The bald warrior nearby watches the scene with a sharp look, silently observing their exchange. The black-haired man's red eyes narrow sharply, filled with intensity. The bald man notices the glare and grows irritated, wondering how the kid dares to look at him like that. He turns aggressively toward them, shouting to get their attention. Just then, another group approaches, with a soldier holding a scroll asking which of them is named Han King. The soldiers check a document showing a blonde swordsman named Han King. Their leader narrows his eyes, confirming the details on the paper. Spotting the armored figure, he assumes it as Han King, noting the strange outfit. The group bursts into laughter, mocking his flashy golden armor and calling it ridiculous. Han King cheerfully admits he's the one they're looking for and introduces his companion to the guild members. Suddenly, a sharp blade flashes toward them. The soldier raises his sword, cutting him off, saying they don't care about newbie names and only allowed them because of their captain's generosity. The black-haired man stays silent, his calm expression hiding his irritation. The bald captain steps in, telling his men to treat the newcomers kindly. One soldier quickly apologizes, saying it was just a joke. He grips his sword tightly, clearly irritated. The bald captain warns them not to mistake his kindness for weakness and expects them to show gratitude. The newcomers nod eagerly. The man in the hat calls for everyone's attention, announcing the start of the official roll call. The group prepares for their raid. Some seem nervous, while others are excited to be working with a major guild. The black-haired man silently observes them, realizing most are inexperienced players new to the main city. The bald leader confirms everyone's presence and orders the team to move out toward the cave entrance. With a confident smirk, he reassures them that even death avoids the Black Tree Guild, implying their strength. The group follows their leader with loud enthusiasm as they march toward the cave. Two knights at the back chat casually, one of them carrying a small red flag. The cheerful knight waves his flag, excited about the glowing slime monsters inside, while the dark-haired man sighs at his childish behavior. With calm confidence, the black-haired man steps into the cave, ready for whatever awaits inside. The black-haired man smirks, excited by the faint, thrilling scent of danger in the air. The team ventures deep into the dark passage of the melted blood-scale cave. A while later, they reach a fork in the tunnel. One member notes they haven't seen any lizards yet, and another explains they're likely hiding deeper inside. A soldier asks Captain Zhao which path they should take, waiting for his decision. Captain Zhao confidently suggests they split into groups to cover more ground. Some members panic, warning that it could be dangerous if they face powerful monsters alone. A robed woman calms everyone, explaining that Zhao had already scouted the area beforehand to ensure their safety. The team looks shocked, surprised that their captain had prepared everything in advance. Captain Zhao explains that the middle path carries the scent of iron-eater lizards, making it the most dangerous route. He adds that danger often brings valuable rewards, deciding his guild will take the middle path while the others handle the sides. With a confident smirk, Zhao asks the group for their thoughts. The others agree without hesitation, praising his leadership and the careful planning of the Black Tree Guild. The black-haired man calmly announces that he and his partner will take the left path. Captain Zhao agrees and asks if anyone would like to join them. Some members hesitate, doubting the pair's reliability and whispering among themselves. One of them mocks the man's serious demeanor, while another blushes, admitting she finds him handsome. Captain Zhao mocks them, saying their lack of popularity leaves him with no choice but to let them go alone. The armored man firmly tells his companion to follow, and they head toward the left path together. Both figures disappear into the dark cave while Zhao watches silently from behind. With a sinister grin, Zhao mutters to himself, calling them ignorant fools. Water drips steadily from the icy stalactites above, echoing through the cold cave. Each drop splashes onto the frozen ground, breaking the silence. Deep inside the cave, two figures move carefully, surrounded by blue crystal walls and strange glowing orbs. As they walk deeper, the armored man warns that the temperature is dropping fast, and something about this place feels unsettling. He grows uneasy and admits he feels like something is watching them, and that the feeling keeps getting stronger. The black-haired man isn't surprised. He calmly says he noticed it earlier and confirms that something is definitely in this cave. The armored man panics, reminding him that Captain Zhao claimed this route was safe after scouting it. The black-haired man questions his trust in Zhao, explaining that an S-rank hunt wouldn't bring so many rookies unless they plan to use them as bait to test the path. He starts to question why the black-haired man didn't speak up earlier. The black-haired man simply responds that exposing Zhao wasn't worth it, observing the strange blue creatures clinging to the cave walls. One of the creatures reacts when he suddenly grabs it, its body trembling in surprise. He releases it and explains that he's actually curious to see how many of these things are hiding deeper inside the cave. They move deeper into the icy cave as the temperature drops. He says something feels wrong, like someone is watching them. The black-haired man confirms it. The knight mentions Captain Zhao said this path was safe, but the black-haired man explains they were brought as bait. When asked why he didn't expose Zhao, the black-haired man grabs one of the slime creatures and lets it rush forward, saying he wants to see what else is hidden. They reach a dark opening. Red eyes appear, and elite iron eater lizards crawl out. A huge pillar slams down as more enemies gather. He unleashes a massive flame vortex, commanding it to burn through everything in front of him as the cave fills with scorching light. The fiery whirlwind sweeps forward, dragging the lizard monsters into its raging heat while they struggle to resist. One of the elite lizards bursts out of the flames, slashing with a sharp, glowing strike in desperation. A man steps in, swinging his blade while shouting for the others to attack so they can prove their strength. Two men discuss how using others as bait made the monsters scatter, proudly admitting their lie about scouting the path. They explain that once most monsters die, the remaining lizards in the other caves will be weakened as well. One of them says they'll swoop in later to take all the rewards with minimal effort just as a sudden attack slams into him. More lizards leap out of the darkness, rushing straight at the captain before he can react. Yuan unleashes a blazing attack, engulfing the cave in flames as the lizards rush forward. The firestorm forces them back, but more push through the heat. A powerful slash cuts through the incoming monsters. Meanwhile, another hunter mocks his own team, bragging about using others as bait to weaken the lizards before taking the credit. Their plan collapses when the remaining lizards suddenly appear behind them. The bald captain steps forward, taunting the monsters and challenging all of them at once. He charges in and tears through several lizards effortlessly, calling them scum meant to stay at the bottom. Watching from behind, the blonde knight stares in shock and quietly calls out to Yuan. The lizard charges in first, swinging its iron tail. He responds instantly. One undead throws a scimitar from above, while another slips into stealth to strike from behind. The combined hits land cleanly. More undead rush forward, surrounding the lizards from all sides and overwhelming them with rapid attacks. His companion watches the scene in shock and asks when he summons so many undead. He simply observes the battlefield as the monsters fall one after another. All the undead continue pushing forward together, clearing the cave with synchronized strikes while the two of them stand at a distance watching the fight unfold. He watches the fight and says this battle is even more impressive than the last one in the swamp. He answers calmly, reminding him that he mentioned preparing beforehand. The other is stunned, realizing he subdued so many monsters in less than a day. The system confirms the kills. He steps forward as the undead stand behind him. He states the battle is already finished and their efficiency is good. The revived monsters rush the lizards using tail strike, scimitar throw, stealth, and backstab. Each attack lands cleanly as the creatures overwhelm the cave. Lin watches calmly from behind while his companion is shocked by how fast the battle turns. More undead pour out, surrounding the Iron Eater lizards. His companion asks when Lin summoned so many monsters, but Lin only replies that their efficiency has improved. One by one, the lizards fall, clearing the entire cave. His companion admires his strength, wondering when he'll ever reach that level. But before he can say more, the ground suddenly begins shaking. He looks around nervously, unsure if it's an earthquake. Yuan and his companion explore the icy cave when the knight notices the temperature suddenly dropping. He says something feels wrong and that someone might be watching them. Yuan calmly replies that he finally noticed, confirming something is indeed there. The knight panics, saying Captain Zhao claimed this path was safe. Yuan explains that Zhao's group brought many newbies on purpose. They clearly want to use others as bait to scout the dangerous areas. When asked why he didn't expose Zhao, Yuan only smirks. He lightly taps one of the slime creatures, letting it rush deeper into the cave. Soon, countless red eyes appear inside the darkness, revealing a group of Iron Eater lizards ready to attack. Before the beasts can charge, Yuan's undead army leaps out and overwhelms them with coordinated skills, tail strikes, scimitar throws, stealth, and backstab. The knight is shocked, asking when Yuan summoned this many undead. After the fight ends, Yuan says their efficiency is decent and continues deeper inside. He swings his sword with all his strength, but the giant red tail crashes down harder, shaking the entire cave. The impact forces him back, and he looks up in shock as the threat finally reveals just how powerful it truly is.